Hey everyone, how are you guys doing tonight? You can see I got my Garth look going on for all of you. As I mentioned on a few live streams ago on either Rob and Sarah's over at Curmudgeon or Alaska Cut the Cords live stream. So I look like I haven't taken care of myself, but no, it's just trying to look like Garth from Wayne's World to let everybody know that I'm not worthy. And I appreciate all of you being here tonight. And Ruby, thank you for being here tonight and being first on the chat from Rushing Wind Mountain. And Ashley Anderson, thank you for being here. As always, I greatly appreciate it. And in case you are not familiar with Ashley, Ashley is a devout follower of a lot of the Alaska channels, and he has started his own channel, Old School Alaska. So be sure to go over there and check out Ashley's channel. If one of my moderators would be so kind to post a link to Ashley's new YouTube channel, Old School Alaska, I'm sure he would greatly appreciate it. And Love and Truth, thank you for being here tonight. You're new in the chat. Love to see you here. Thank you very much. And P&J's Homestead Adventure, Paula and Jason, thank you. And be sure to check out Paula and Jason's channel also. Glad to see you guys here. Paula and Jason say hello, Ashley and Old School Alaska. Good to see you. And also saying hi to Rushing Wind Mountain and Love and Truth, who is saying hello back to them. And Old School is saying hello to everybody. And Love and Truth is saying hello to Old School Alaska as well. And we have Rebecca from Touch by Yarn. Thank you for being here, Rebecca. And thank you, Rob, for being here. Rob from Curmudgeon is one of the moderators of the live stream tonight. So thank you for that, Rob. Greatly appreciate it. And we got some more salutations going on back and forth. And Bill Dixon, be sure to check out Bill Dixon's channel too over at the Pungo Prairie. Bill says, okay, it's been a long day here on the Pungo Prairie, but I'm going to try and stay awake long enough to at least say hello. Well, thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. Hope you and Tally Girl are doing well. Miss you guys very much, and I will be over your way soon to see what you got going on in your neck of the woods. And Mrs. Smith, thank you for being here tonight. Mrs. Smith is a channel, actually a blog that I promote at the end of most of my videos. So be sure to look for her link in the description of all of my videos and say hello to her over on her blog. And Curmudgeon also doing some more salutations here. And let's see here. And Rob is saying to P&J's Homestead, how are you guys doing tonight? And also to Bill Dixon over at the Pungo Prairie. P&J is responding, saying, doing good here. Thank you, Rob. And how are you too? That would be Rob and Sarah over there at the Curmudgeon. And Mrs. Smith is doing some salutations. And Bill Dixon is responding to Rob by saying, yes, sir. Thank you for asking, and trust you are as well. And we have Follow Alaska here saying hello, everyone. Well, hello. Be sure to follow Alaska over at their YouTube channel as well. Hopefully my moderators are posting some links in the chat for everybody so you can go over and subscribe to their channels. If you would, that'd be so kind. And I'm sure Lynn and Daryl would greatly appreciate it as well. And going through some more salutations here. I'm going to skip over some of these. Ashley is saying, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And I greatly appreciate it for everybody who's already done so. And if you would, that will help YouTube promote the live streams and my channel, and also to help promote other similar content to your feed on YouTube. And P&J is saying to Follow Alaska, how's Daryl doing? Home soon. And Follow Alaska is responding by saying, if the schedule does not change again, he should be home Friday morning, 3 hours after his shift ends. That's 3 hours is the drive time from where he works to where he lives. That's a long drive time, especially in the winter months here in Alaska. And there's Ace. Howdy, Ace. How are you doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. And Matt's 1791 Garage. Hello, everyone, he says. Well, thank you for being here, Matt. Greatly appreciate it. Old School Alaska is saying, Lynn, that makes for a long day. Yes, it does. And P&J is saying, we bet he's looking forward to some home time. I would imagine so. Ira Handworkers here. Hello, Ira. How are you and Lorraine doing? She says hello alone from Lorraine and Ira and all that are joining. Wonderful how these live chats bring us all together. I agree. I was just talking to Rob and Sarah and yesterday to Adam and Phyllis over at Alaska Cut the Cord and saying how wonderful it is that we have such a wonderful group of individuals in our live streams and, you know, that we get to know all of you virtually. So greatly appreciate you guys being here tonight. And PLT Fabrication, how are you doing tonight? Glad to see you in the chat. I don't recognize your name, so this is the first time seeing you here. I'm glad that you were able to join us tonight. And PTL says hello all. And Follow Alaska says yes, indeed. And greetings to Ashley from Matt's 1791 Garage. And Billy Sutton, thank you for being here tonight. Billy says hi alone and hi everybody. Monica Lynn at Alaska My Heart says hi. And she also has a channel, so be sure to check her out. She just posted some Mardi Gras coverage for us all. So be sure to pay Monica a visit if you would. And NTD Woods, thank you for being here from Iowa. So glad to see you in the chat. Also a new time name in the chat. Nice to see you here. High Life on the High Line. How are you doing tonight, Amy? Amy says hi, everyone. Be sure to check out Amy's channel as well. And Matt says, rock on alone. Rock on. Peace out, everyone. Well, don't peace out just yet, but you know what I mean. And Mrs. Smith says, hi alone. I just went to the store to pick up a few items, and it is so expensive here in Colorado. I was wondering how much more percentage-wise groceries cost in Alaska. Well, be sure to tune in this week because that's actually what this week's video is all about. Well, not all about the groceries, but that is part of it, is comparing grocery prices throughout the state of Alaska compared to what it is in the lower 48. And it has been 10 months since I did a video similar to that. So this week I will be covering that along with some other topics in my video. So great question. Thank you for asking. And Matt AK, how are you doing tonight? Matt AK also has a channel, so be sure to check him out. Matt says, howdy, howdy. Guess I can stop editing my video for a bit. Yeah, I'm guilty of editing while watching live streams as well. So no worries there, Matt, whatsoever. And Rob over at Curmudgeon says, hey, all, I am here, but getting dinner going for our guests. So they have some guests, some special guests up from the lower 48 who are visiting them and who are celebrating a wonderful 53rd wedding anniversary. So congratulations on the wedding anniversary for your guests. And Sandra Soto Rivera, how are you doing tonight? Sandra's coming to us from Costa Rica. So glad to see you in the chat tonight. Monica Lynn is saying hi to everybody. And Michael Sinclair, nice to see you here. New name also. And Michael is saying hello from East Texas. Thank you for joining the chat tonight. And Panhandle Off-Road Ranch, another wonderful channel. Be sure to check them out from Knoxville, Tennessee. Thank you again for being here. And Clint Gilchrist, who is one of my favorite little comedians that joins the chat. Clint is joining us tonight from East Texas and says, good evening. Hello, chat. Or Clint, thank you for being here. Follow Alaska is saying to Ashley, look at you running both channels at once. Yes, Ashley is a phenom, even though he doesn't think it himself. We all think he is. He is fabulous. And Paula and Jason are saying hi to Billy Sutton. Always good to see you. Curmudgeon has put up Old School Alaska's channel link, so be sure to go over and subscribe to Ashley's new channel and give him some support. Ace is saying howdy, dude. Howdy. And Follow Alaska is saying hey to Monica Lynn. Monica Lynn is saying amazing friends, Paula and Jason over at P&J, and Love and Truth is there again. I'm going to skip over some salutations here. AK Dog Mom, how are you doing tonight, Kim? Kim says hello alone and everyone in the chat. Good to see you again. And John Feeney, how are you doing tonight? Hello alone from O'Hare International. Wow, that's a busy place. That is a busy, busy place. If you're not familiar with what O'Hare International is, it's the airport in Chicago. And it is not a fun airport if you have a short layover, let me tell you, because it can take quite a while to get from one end of the airport to the other. But they have an amazing catwalk, if you will. I don't really know if that's what it's called. It's a people mover, but it's pretty cool. Out of all the airports, I think it has the coolest people mover. And Rob is saying hi to Monica. Monica's saying hey to Sweet Follow Alaska. And Matt is also saying hey there to P&J, sorry, Paul and Jason. And more salutations going on here. Old School Alaska is saying thanks for the shout out. Much appreciated. You are more than welcome. And thank you for all the support that you help give to all of the channels here on YouTube as well. We greatly appreciate it. And P&J is saying, always good to see you, to Monica Lynn. 63 Clocks, how are you doing tonight? So good to see you. 63 is saying hello to everyone in the chat. And Ruby over at Rushing Wind Mountain, who also has a wonderful channel, be sure to check her out, says hello and good evening to everyone. Old School Alaska says, thanks, Rob, for the link drop. And Follow Alaska is saying to Matt AK and Matt's 1791 Garage. Good to see you both, Matts. And Billy Sutton says, Garth, lol, I've been racking my brain today trying to remember what it was that we had challenged. I couldn't remember. Well done, Alone. You nailed it. You're welcome. I told you, if I put my hair down and put on my nerd glasses, that's what I look like. But if I pull them up, I can look a little bit more presentable. And then you can see my eyes, maybe. I was doing this earlier and I'm not used to looking in the mirror, as you can probably tell. I look like I just crawled out of bed, but I didn't. Anyhow, there's Monica Lynn saying, hey, Ashley. And P&J saying, 59 people here. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for Alone. Thank you very much, Paula and Jason. Greatly appreciate that. Matt AK is saying to follow Alaska. We're like Superman. We're always around, the Matts, that is. And Diana Sargent, how are you doing tonight from Virginia? Thank you for being here with us tonight. Glad to see you in the chat. I believe you're a first-time chatter as well. And 63 Clocks is saying hello to Rob and Sarah. And Follow Alaska is saying hi there to Billy Sutton. AK Dog Mom, a.k.a. Kim, says hello, Rob, to Rob over at the Curmudgeon. And more salutations going on. Old School Alaska saying, hope you're feeling better, to Matt AK. And Matt AK says, much better today. Thank you. He had a headache yesterday on the live stream. So glad you're feeling better, Matt. And Matt's 1791 Garage says, but never seen together, the two Matts, that is. And let's see here. Monica Lynn says, hey, absolutely everyone in the chat. Hey to absolutely everyone in the chat. All of my sweet friends. Hugs and kisses. And right back at you, Monica Lynn. Matt AK says to Matt's 1791 Garage, so maybe we're both Batman then. There you go. And Paul Davis, how are you doing tonight, Paul? Paul says, good evening, Alone and everyone. Glad to see you in the chat again. Living Free Alaska, another wonderful channel here in Alaska. Be sure to pay them a visit and say hello. Says hello or hey, everyone. Hope you are staying dry. We hope you are too. It's not raining in this neck of the woods, but I know it was over your way yesterday, and it sounds like it might be again today. So Living Free Alaska lives in Houston. Rob at Curmudgeon is in Chase, just north of Talkeetna. And Adam and Phyllis, when they are able to join here in a little bit, they are located in Willow, Alaska. Hunting and Stuff is here and says, evening, Alone. Good evening, Hunting and Stuff. Hunting and Stuff can also be seen on their channel, and they also are a moderator for Enigmatic Witchin, who might be on here in a bit as well. So be sure to pay them a visit as well. And Billy Sutton says, hi to Ash at Old School Alaska. Good to see you. And Monica Lynn says, can we still call you Ashley to Old School Alaska? Curmudgeon is saying hello to the two Matts, and Monica Lynn is saying hello to Living Free, and Rob is saying hello to Hunting and Stuff. Our Cabin in the Woods is here. Thank you for being here tonight, Tony. Tony also has a wonderful channel located out of Oklahoma. He has a beautiful ranch down there, or cabin, and some property. So be sure to pay Tony a visit down at Our Cabin in the Woods and tell him Alone sent you. And P&J says to Stacy and Gary at Living Free Alaska, says hi. Living Free says hi to Monica Lynn. Hope you're having an awesome day. And we got some more salutations going on here. Old School Alaska says number 38, 38 subscribers. He says, yes, just anything but late for dinner as far as what to call him. And Monica Lynn is saying hey to a bunch of people there. And Billy Sutton says, hey, it's the Matts. Hi, Matt and Matt's Garage. And more salutations going on here. I'm going to skip over some of these. Got lots and lots of salutations going on. Love and Truth says, y'all hit the like button. Thank you very much for that, Love and Truth. Greatly appreciate it. And Love and Truth, if you have a channel yourself, would you please throw up the link to your channel also? So that we can also go over and support you. That is one of the things that my channel likes to do. I like to do, and I know others here do the same thing. We like to support each other and help promote where we can. And Clayton Ryder, how are you doing from Oregon? Nice to see you in here. Also a new name in the chat. So glad to see you tonight. Hope you're doing well. Monica Lynn says, hey, Our Cabin in the Woods, how are you? And same thing there from Living Free, saying hey there. And Debbie Rich, how are you doing tonight? Also, a new name in the chat says, just recently found your channel. Hi, I'm from Southern Illinois. For all of you who are new to the chat, feel free to ask any questions that you might have regarding Alaska or my life out here in this remote area, and I will be more than happy to answer your questions. That's what this chat is all about. So feel free to ask those questions. And let's see here, going through again, more salutations. I'm just skipping through some of these here. And there is Matt AK's channel link. Thank you for throwing that up there, Rob. Be sure to pay Matt a visit and see what he's got going on. He's currently between Utah and Alaska. So he's got lots and lots of fun things happening all the time. And let's see here. More salutations going on. And there is Tony's link for our cabin in the woods. Be sure to pay him a visit if you would. And Matt's 1791 Garage is saying to Matt AK, maybe Iron Man and Tony Stark. There you go. Billy Sutton says, hey, Paula and Jason over at P&J's Homestead Adventure. Always good to see you. And there is Monica Lynn's channel link. Thank you for throwing that up there, Rob. And again, Monica Lynn is down in New Orleans, so be sure to pay her a visit. And P&J says, alone, any signs of animals out and about? Yes, something walked through the yard overnight. I'm assuming it's a moose. But I tried to find it on the security cameras, and it must have come through in the dark of night, and the security camera didn't pick it up. I think the motion light on that side of the cabin, the south side of the cabin, is out right now. So something I need to tend to when the snow melts. I can't exactly get to it with all that snow out there. But something made a straight line right through all the snow. So, but that's the first thing I've seen in quite a while. I did hear an owl the other night. I had to actually look it up to see what it was. And I think it's a boreal owl, if I remember correctly. It's something that I typically have heard in the spring and the fall, but I heard it for the first time the other night. So I knew it had to be an owl because it was, like I said, at night, in the dark of night. But other than that, it's been pretty quiet around here lately. Old School Alaska, aka Ashley, says, I now have a functional laptop. Now I just need a functional operator. There you go, Ashley. I'm sure you'll get there. Practice makes perfect, as they say. And there is Paula and Jason's link for P&J's Homestead Adventure. Be sure to pay them a visit and see what they're up to these days. And we got some salutations going on again. Monica Lynn says, so many people. I love it. If I missed you, so sorry. This chat is on fire. Well, thank you for that, Monica. And I'm sure everybody else appreciates it as well. Billy Sutton's laughing at Ashley's joke about don't call him late for dinner. And Rob is saying, you're welcome to P&J. And Matt's AK is saying to Matt 1791 Garage, I'll be Batman. You can be Iron Man. They're both rich, so it evens out low. Share the wealth, boys. Share the wealth. And Marley, how are you doing tonight? Good time to see you. Marley says, hi, Alone. I'm so glad to see you again. And Tony says, thank you to Rob over at Curmudgeon. And Matt 1791 is saying to Ashley, no worries. Laptops practically run themselves. I have never been good on a laptop. The desktop is what I'm familiar with. And when I get a laptop, I get a little bit flustered. I think it's the smaller keyboard, but also not having a mouse. I know I could put an external mouse on it, but I still prefer my desktop. Rob says, I will get everyone's channels posted in just in time. I do not want to overload everyone. There you go, Rob. Greatly appreciate that. And Marley says, so wonderful to see you again, and to all your friends here, all our friends here. Yes, friends of everyone. Thank you for that, Marley. We love to see you here as well. And there's Matt's 1791 Garage. So be sure to check out Matt's videos and tell him Alone sent you. And Matt's saying deal to Matt AK about being Iron Man and Batman. Hunting and Stuff says, Curmudge gonna have her way behind in chat. Yep, there's a lot going on tonight. I'm going to try to catch up as much as I can. That's why I'm skipping over some of the salutations. So if I miss anything, I do apologize, but I do want to keep the chat flowing along and hopefully get to some of those questions. Old School Alaska says to 1791, thanks for the encouragement. It's rough on me, though. Learning curves are always rough, but I'm sure you'll overcome it for sure, Matt. I mean, Ashley. Sorry, as you can tell, I'm still on a learning curve, learning how to speak, that is. And again, more salutations going on here. Mrs. Smith says, Alone, have you found your copper bathtub yet? I did find it. I have not purchased it yet. So, I showed the one video where I showed how I'm going to redo the Arctic entry and make it into a formal bathroom. The tub that I showed in the original video was not the one that I planned doing. But if you watch the follow-up video or the following video, I show a copper tub in that one, and that is the copper tub that I'm getting. I don't remember offhand the name of the company that it's from, but it's a beautiful tub, and if all goes well, hopefully I'll have it up here by end of summer. So, but I think the wood stove is more of a priority than the bathroom is, believe it or not. The bathroom won't be too bad to do, other than I need to replace the floor in that room because the floor where the center post used to be that held up the original roof, right around that center post area, the floor is soft. So I'm going to rip out the floor and do some investigation underneath there, replace any beams that I need to, put down new floor, and then insulate the ceiling before outfitting the bathroom. So some work yet to be done on that room. Monica says, I love the glasses alone. Very beautiful lady. Well, thank you for that, Monica. I appreciate that. When I bought these glasses, I know you can't really see them. They're actually green. They're not the black rim glasses, but when I bought them because they were the nerdiest things I had seen, and I just thought that they were cute. So I'm glad I got them, though. They've come in handy, definitely. And Hunting and Stuff says, glasses or no glasses, looks good either way. Well, thank you for that, Hunting and Stuff. Greatly appreciate it. And Bren Free, how are you doing tonight, Bren? Bren is one of our favorites from down in Australia, so be sure to pay her a visit and tell her Alone and everybody sent you her direction. If you love Australia and you would like to see also some metal detecting and mudlarking down in Australia, she is your girl. And Bren says, hi, Alone. I'm late. Been busy catching up on reading chat. Good to see you. Good to see you also, Bren. Thank you for being here. Monica says she'll be right back. Rob's asking Bren how she's doing. And Bren says, hi, everyone. Hot day here again in Oz. And P&J saying hi to Bren. Lots of salutations to Bren. Alaska says, good to see you, to Bren. And CNF, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you here. CNF is coming to us from Southwest Florida, and her name is Carol. Thank you for being here, Carol. New to the chat, and I greatly appreciate seeing you. And Joanne Twist, how are you doing tonight, Joanne? Joanne says, hello, Alone, and everyone. So glad to see you again. Paul Davis is getting a hello from Billy Sutton. And Rob is telling Carol from CNF that they moved from Southwest Florida to Alaska 3 years ago, in fact. Let's see here. Skipping over some more salutations. Matt AK says, we have an atmospheric river in Utah currently. So much rain. It was supposed to rain here yesterday, but it never did. It looked like rain when I woke up this morning, but it's just windy and warm outside. Currently, the temperature is about 40 degrees or so outside right now, which has been good. It allowed the ice shield to slough off the roof earlier today, shook the whole cabin, but luckily not off of its foundation. And Matt's 1791 Garage says, Alone, easier to just say Matt's Garage if you like. Sure, I can do that. And more salutations going on here. And there's Follow Alaska's channel link. So be sure to pay Lynn and Daryl a visit and tell them hello and subscribe if you would. They would greatly appreciate that. Ace says, has Kenai agreed to make more videos soon? I love fur films. No, he's on strike. He said his acting days are over. Trying to get him on camera is rather difficult. And really all he does is lay there for the most part. As soon as that camera comes out, mostly he's hiding. But I'll try. No promises. And Matt's Garage says, Atmospheric River sounds so paranormal, doesn't it? Miss Mother Trucker, how are you doing? Good to see you again. She says, I'm so excited I got in on a live. Well, we're glad to have you here and hope you're doing well. And Love and Truth says, hit the thumbs up button. Thank you for that, Love and Truth. Greatly appreciate it. Paul Davis is saying good evening to Old School Alaska. And Matt AK is saying, I was using an external mic for my iPhone on my trip and half the clips recorded in mono for some reason. Annoying. Maybe I'll go back to the GoPro. I know that Rob over at Curmudgeon has been having some issues with his GoPro. And I just filmed some footage on my GoPro, and I thought that I lost all of that footage when I got home and tried to download it. Luckily, I did not. But I've been having some issues with my iPhone losing focus. And so it's can be tricky sometimes when you're working with just inexpensive camera gear for sure. But I'm sure you'll get it figured out, Matt. Susan Marr, how you doing tonight? And Susan says, talk about your projects. Well, all the projects are currently on hold here. So if you're new to my channel, I bought a cabin a couple of years ago. This cabin was built in 1970, and I've been working over the last couple of years to renovate it and get it back to its glory. And some of the current projects that I have that I need to be working on are rebuilding the stairs that lead up to the loft and redoing the railings, putting up ceilings, walls. As I mentioned, the Arctic entry, turning that into a formal bathroom. I need to replace the outhouse outside because the bathroom that's inside the cabin won't have a flushing toilet. I don't have any plumbing in my cabin. And so 2 outhouses will be built, one for the main cabin, one for the bunkhouse. And then also building an outdoor kitchen and a shop. So lots and lots of projects on the horizon. It's just a matter of getting the materials out here and getting some help for some of those projects. Because also one of the other things I need to do is build a balcony off the back of the cabin so I can enjoy that fabulous view that I have behind my cabin. So also, if you're new to the channel, I back up to Wrangell St. Elias National Park, and I can see 3 or 4 of some of the highest peaks in Alaska right out my back door. So lots of projects coming on. Living Free Alaska says, you're rocking it tonight alone. Well, thank you for that. Greatly appreciate it. And Miss Mother Trucker, thank you very much for the super chat, 1999. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. I will put that towards the project fund to help bring in those materials in the spring. I can't say thank you enough for that. And Clint Gilchrist says, whatever happened to Dewey, victim of Bigfoot? Yeah, I think Dewey and Bigfoot, after the last time they made an appearance, I think they ran off and said, enough of this. We're out of here. But who knows? They might make an appearance again. Old School Alaska says, hi, Life. Thanks for the sub. And Matt AK says to Matt's Garage, it sounds ominous for sure, but it's great for our water supply. Yep, nothing like getting some rain so you're not in a drought. That does make a big difference. Our Cabin in the Woods is saying hi to John Feeney, and Rob has put up Love and Truth channel link. Thank you for that, Rob. Be sure to pay her a visit and tell her Alone sent you. CNF says, hello all, Snowbird in Florida, home state of Michigan. Well, that's got to be a little bit of a culture shock between the two places, but I'm sure the difference makes it good for the bones, if nothing else, in the winter months. Billy Sutton says hi to Ace and agree about the Kenai videos. Well, that's good to know. He's sitting right here, so hopefully he's absorbing it through osmosis because he's passed out cold at my feet here. Ace is saying thank you. And Old School Alaska is saying hello to Miss Mother Trucker. And Matt AK is saying party on. And let's see here. Living Free Alaska says to John Feeney, thank you. Gary is scheduled for surgery on the 4th. Oh, no. Right when we are supposed to start weekly vlogs again. Well, I hope his surgery goes well, no complications, and that he's back on the mend quickly so that your vlogs can get rolling again. But if you have to take time off, so be it. Everybody understands, or at least I think most people do. And Living Free Alaska says, but Spirit is doing great. That is good to know. Living Free Alaska's channel link is right there if you'd like to check out their channel and all they have going on. Excuse me, have a little bit of the hiccups going on here. And Our Cabin in the Woods is saying hi to Ashley, and we've got more salutations going on here. Follow Alaska says to Living Free, how does it always happen that way? Right? That seems to be the case. Just when you get an upswing of things, then you kind of drop back down. I think that's just the swing of life. And Cranky Aunt Linda, how are you doing tonight? Cranky Aunt Linda says, hurrah, I'm awake and remembered the chat is on. Hope you are doing well, Alone. I am too, and I hope you are also, Linda. Great to see you again, as always. Fall Alaska says to Living Free, good to hear Spirit is doing better. I agree. Monica Lynn says, what did I miss? I had a phone call. Apparently, all my kids and grandkids have the flu. Oh, no. Hopefully, they get better soon and that they are not too ill. The flu is no fun for sure. And there is my friend Delbert. How are you doing tonight, Delbert? Long time no see. Glad to see you in the chat. You're looking well, my friend. Hope you're doing well up there in New York. And Delbert has a channel, Two Bears. He's changed it recently. So Two Bears, if you would throw up your channel link, I would greatly appreciate that. So you can get some followers over there on your channel. Living Free Alaska says to follow Alaska. We have been videoing a little here and there to fill the gaps. There you go. And we got some salutations going on from Miss Mother Trucker to Ashley over at Old School. And let's see, there we go. And our cabin in the woods is saying hi to Cranky Aunt Linda, Old School to Delbert. And so is Billy Sutton saying hi. And Becoming Vermont, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you in the chat. First time visiting, thanks to P&J's Homestead Adventure. So great to be here with you all. Well, thank you for that. And thank you, P&J, for sharing that out with everybody. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you for joining the chat tonight, Becoming Vermont. Miss Mother Trucker said, I remember when I was living in North Pole, Alaska, we used to have a moose. She will know our windows. She will knock our window every morning during the winter. Yep. Well, the moose on my property don't come that close to the cabin, probably because of Kenai. But that's probably a good thing because Kenai assumes it's just a giant dog and then he wants to chase it off. And that's not a good thing for him. But the moose sure are beautiful for sure. Follow Alaska says to Living Free Alaska, you have inspired me to do something to fill in the gaps on our end as well. Well, that's good to know. Hope that's going well for you guys. And there is Delbert's channel. He says Two Bears 1224 is now Delbert. I see. There you go. Well, hopefully you're doing well nonetheless. And I'm glad to see you here tonight. Clint Gilchrist says to Monica Lynn, uh-oh. Hope they have a speedy recovery. I agree. P&J's Homestead says, oh no, Monica. Sorry to hear that they are sick. Old School Alaska says hello to Becoming Vermont. And Matt's Garage says, well, at least whatever passed through your property was on 4 feet and not 2 Bigfoots. Well, I don't actually know because when moose walk, their back foot goes in the alignment of where their front foot is. So it looks like human feet print if you're looking at it from a distance. Whenever you see moose footprints, I tried to go out and look at it, but the snow had blown over, so I couldn't really see the actual tracks. I could just see the impression in the snow. So for all I know, it could be Bigfoot, but who knows? It wasn't that wide though, so we know it's a moose. But Live in Truth says, always look forward to your videos. Can't wait to see your future projects. You inspire me. Well, thank you for that. I'm glad to hear that. I am looking forward to getting the projects underway as well. Oh, one other project that is still in the works is my kitchen, which has been in the works for such a long time. But that counter will be done soon. And then I can show you guys the finished kitchen, which I will be more than happy to show everybody because it's been in construction for way too long. And Living Free Alaska says to follow Alaska. Our vlogging style makes it easy to do that. There you go. And P&J says, hi, Carol. Good to see you. And also to Becoming Vermont. Becoming Vermont channel link is right there. Thank you for that, Rob. I appreciate you throwing that up. Monica Lynn says, me too, Clint. I told them don't come here for 2 weeks. Yes, make sure everybody is well before they start heading your way and getting you sick as well. Becoming Vermont says, hello, friends. Well, hello again. And thank you again for being here. And Billy Sutton says to Cranky Aunt Linda, love your name. Old School Alaska says, Alone, are you getting a false spring there? Yes. Things have warmed up nicely over the last week. Before that, we were in the negatives, averaging about -25 to -30. And now the temperatures are 25 above to 40 degrees. So right now it's 40 degrees outside. And that has allowed some melting to take place outside, which is kind of nice because it got all the weight off the roof. But we have negatives coming back up at the end of this week. Overnight lows are supposed to be averaging negative teens to -20, about there. So without that snow on the roof, it means that some of that insulation is gone. So hopefully it doesn't get too cold. Diane Sargent says, I admire you so much and love watching. How much snow do you have now, and when will spring or warmer weather begin? So currently, right now, well, after the last storm that came through, which was just a couple weeks ago, I had 54 inches of snow on the ground. I don't know the total snowfall that I've had for the entire winter. I keep trying to find that information and I don't know how to find it. So if somebody else knows, maybe leave a comment down below. But I can tell you last storm, I had 54 inches. I have a snow pole. I myself, Rob over at Curmudgeon, Alaska Cut the Cord, John in Alaska, and several other channels are all doing a snow pole challenge to see who has the most snow at their property. And so far, it looks like mine had the highest total on it in the most recent times. But I imagine with the melt that's come through over the last week, that it's probably down about 3 feet right now on the snow pole. And spring will be here towards the end of May, essentially. It'll start warming up in April, and then I'll still have snow on the ground until the middle of June. And thank you for your question, Diane. I really appreciate that. And hello, Brian from the Vineyard Farmhouse. Be sure to check out Brian's channel as well. Brian also does a number of lives and has a bunch of other channels on. So if you're interested in learning about other channels out there, Brian has a great channel to do that with. So thank you for being here tonight. Greatly appreciate it. And Matt's Garage is saying, hey there to Becoming Vermont. And we've got more salutations going on. Follow Alaska is saying to Living Free Alaska, I need to find a rhythm. We've been all over the place this year with more changes coming. Isn't that always the case? Changes, which is a good thing because then otherwise you're just stagnant, I think. So looking forward to seeing what you guys got going on and more salutations going on. And Clint Gilchrist says to Monica, I don't blame you for telling everyone not to come around till they're feeling better. P&J's Homestead Adventure says 105 people here. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up for Alone. Thank you. Thank you, Paula and Jason. Greatly appreciate that. And D Stu, good to see you again. D says, hi, Alone. Glad to see you. Seems like your ankle has healed. I hope so. My ankle has healed. It took a couple days after I took the boot off. So I was in a walking boot for about 8 weeks. Yeah. So basically all of November and December, I was in a walking boot. I've slipped off my stairs and I had, if this is, I got to figure out how to get my hand in the camera. If this is your heel, right? So your heel with your leg going up right here on the inside of my heel, I cracked the bone right there. But it is all healed up now and I'm walking fine. No swelling, no pressure. Took a couple days, like I said, after the boot came off, even 8 weeks later for the swelling to finally go all the way down. But thank you for that, Dee. Greatly appreciate it. And Rob has thrown up Brian's channel link over at the Vineyard Farmhouse. Thank you for doing that, Rob. Like I said, be sure to pay him a visit. And Monica Lynn is saying y'all. And Ace is saying hi to Brian. And Monica Lynn is saying y'all hit that thumbs up or like button for Alone's live. Thank you for that, Monica. Greatly appreciate it. And Brian says, hey there to follow Alaska, Clint, Matt AK, and Matt's 1791 Garage. Crinky and Linda is saying, thanks to Billy. Your name was my baby brother's name. Miss him. Oh, we're sorry to hear that. And Susan Marr, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you again. Susan's asking why a copper bathtub. I really just like the copper. I know that everyone has told me if I went with a cast iron tub that it would hold the heat better. But since I plan on circulating the water, which is really what I plan on doing as opposed to just filling it with hot water, either way, I'll have the wood stove right there. But since I plan on circulating the water through a pot set on top of the wood stove, I'm not really worried about how well it'll retain the heat. Because then the water will constantly be reheating itself. But copper, mainly just because I think it's beautiful more than anything else. And I know where I can find one brand new that is within my budget. So that's part of the other reason. And more salutations going on here. Ira says, will you be having your children visiting you when it warms up again? I hope to have my children up here again this year. So 2 of my 3 children have been up here over the past couple of years. My son twice and my daughter just this last summer. But they both have new jobs. So I'm not sure if they're going to get the opportunity to come up or not, but I sure hope that they do. And I hope that they're both very happy in their new positions and very successful as well. And Clint says hello to Brian over at Vineyards Farmhouse, and so does Matt at Matt's Garage. Tony says, everyone hit the thumbs up button. It's free. Thank you for that, Tony. Greatly appreciate it. And we got Vineyard saying hello to a bunch of people. And there is Rushing Wind Mountains channel link. So be sure to pay Ruby a visit and let her know that Alone sent you. Ira says the glasses look great. Thank you for that, Ira. That is appreciated. And there's Alaska Cut the Cord. Phyllis here checking in. How are you today? I'm doing well, Phyllis. How are you? Hope you guys are doing good. And Phyllis is just one half of the dynamic duo of Alaska Cut the Cord. Her husband's name is Adam, and they are a fantastic channel. So be sure to pay them a visit. And Billy Sutton says hi to Brian. And Rob is saying hi to Ira, handworker, saying good to see you. Hope you and mom are well. P&J says, Alone, did you cook any fun recipes lately? Actually, no, I haven't been cooking a whole, well, I don't know. Maybe I have cooked some fun stuff. Let's see. What have I cooked lately? That's a good question. I made some banh mi's. The last time that I was able to go into town, I picked up some French bread and some Braunschweiger because I can't find pate. Fried up some Vietnamese pork and then put some fresh veggies on it and some pickled daikon and carrot, which is one of my favorite relishes. And it was fabulous. So yeah, I would say that's been the most fun thing that I've made recently, which I have a video that shows that. You'll have to go back to my video log to figure out which one it was, but it was one of my grocery haul videos. If you're interested in how to make a banh mi, they are a fabulous sandwich. Next to a Monte Cristo, the banh mi is my absolute favorite. So, and Cranky Aunt Linda is waving to Old School Alaska and Cabin in the Woods. And Rob is saying to Alaska Cut the Cord, about time. They are an unruly bunch in here. Matt 1791 Garage says, hey there to Alaska Cut the Cord. Phyllis, what's up? Clint says, what a beautiful day here today. Upper 70s, sunshine, and a nice little breeze. That does sound nice. The 40 degrees feels like 70 degrees outside. It is absolutely beautiful outside, other than the breeze is more of a wind here today. Gust of 25 to 30 miles an hour. So I'm hoping the winds die down and I don't get knocked off the live stream. So fingers crossed on that. Follow Alaska says, hey guys, to Alaska Cut the Cord. And P&J says, hi to Phyllis. Always good to see you. Rushing Wind is saying, hey to Cranky Aunt Linda. And Lisa Oster, Fulton, how are you doing tonight? Lisa says, hello from Oklahoma. Good to see you in here. Thank you for joining the chat tonight. Hope you're doing well. And Billy Sutton says, hi to Lisa. And Hutton and Steph says, evening to Alaska Cut the Cord. And we got more salutations going on here. Brian is saying hello to Ira, Billy Sutton, Old School Alaska, P&J's, Lisa Oster, Fulton, and Living Free Alaska. Rushing Wind Mountain is also saying hi to Lisa. And Matt's girl saying to Rob over at Curmudgeon, you know that we're all just taking cues from Cut the Cord, right? There you go. Old School is saying hi and thumbs up to Vineyard. And Alaska Cut the Cord says hello to everyone in the chat. I just got home, got to start supper and feed the dogs. Be back shortly. Take your time. We understand how it goes. And if you're not familiar with Alaska Cut the Cord and Curmudgeon in Alaska, they both have live streams on Monday nights every week. Curmudgeon has theirs first starting at 4 o'clock Alaska Standard Time, and Alaska Cut the Cord follows them at 5:45 each Monday night. So be sure to check them out and see what they have going on in their live streams. Excuse me. Follow Alaska says, I've cleared the deck 8 times and counting so far today, clearing roof snow. Luckily, my snow goes off the sides of my cabin, so it doesn't block any of my doors currently. Though one of the other projects that I have to do is there's an original trapper's door on the south side of my cabin that I'm going to be opening up. And so eventually I'll have to clear that path. But as of right now, that's not an issue because that door is still boarded over. But I did notice that when all the snow came down off the largest section of the roof, that it barricaded in both sides of the woodshed. Luckily, I'm not burning the wood that's in that woodshed this year because it was delivered wet. And so all the good wood is sitting out front of the cabin and underneath the awning or the eave of the front of the cabin. So my heart goes out to you there, Lynn. That's a lot of snow to clear for sure. And Tiff over to Original Six. How you doing tonight, Tiff? Good to see you. Tiff says hi alone and everyone. I'm so glad you're in here tonight, Tiff. And Ira says, we are traveling to South Florida tomorrow for a few days so mom can see family that do not visit us. Not looking forward to traffic there and chaos. I do not blame you, not one bit. That is one nice thing about here is I don't have any traffic out this way, and there's definitely no chaos. And Joanne Twist is saying hello to Follow Alaska. Cremage is saying hello to Original Six, and so is Old School Alaska. Billy Sutton is also there. And the Vineyard is saying, hey there to Alaska Cut the Cord and Joanne Twist. And there's Alaska Cut the Cord's channel link for everybody. So be sure to pay Adam and Phyllis a visit and subscribe to their channel if you happen to like their content, which I'm sure you will. And Rushing Wind is saying hello to Original Six. And so is Matt's Garage and Living Free Alaska. More salutations going on here. Going to skip over some of these. Billy Sutton is saying to Ira, have a safe trip. Hope traffic's not too bad. I agree. And Rushing Wind Mountain Living Free is saying to you, hope you are doing well today. And let's see here. We got some smiles going from Ruby over at Rushing Wind. And Cranky Aunt Linda says, hey, all, please keep me in your thoughts on the 22nd. Whole day of test for my cancer thyroid. Oh, my. Team will determine if I will survive a removal surgery. This is my 4th battle and is the first time that worries me. Wow. I am so sorry to hear that you have thyroid cancer going on. I do hope that they get it resolved and that you'll make it through the surgery and the recovery just fine, Linda. And I will definitely keep you in my thoughts and prayers, as I know many others will as well. We're all pulling for you. That's for sure. And there is Hunting and Steph's channel link. So be sure to go over there and subscribe and pay them a visit. And let's see here. JR, how are you doing tonight? JR is also one of the moderators on my channel. So thank you for finally showing up, my friend. JR says, greetings, just home from dinner with friends. So glad you could be here. Living Free Alaska says, we'll add you to our prayer list. Cranky Aunt Linda, that's good. Thank you for doing that. And same thing with Old School Alaska. Delbert says, hi, Miss Alone. What's your email? It is aloneinremotealaska@gmail.com. And it says, I lost it and I want to send you a photo of some things I built this winter. Very cool. I'm looking forward to it. So again, it's alone@remotealaska.com. Aloneinremotealaska.com. Sorry about that. And Rob is saying to JR, how are you doing? And Rushing Wind is saying hello to JR. And we got prayers going on for Cranky Aunt Linda from Our Cabin in the Woods and Matt's 1791 Garage. And Clint Gilchrist says, sadly, the only recipe I have is for disaster. Oh, my. Brian over the Vineyard says, we're in New York, Delbert. And Matt's asking JR what's up. And we have Ed from Mountain Mariner Off-Grid Alaska here tonight. Thank you for being here, Ed. Hope you're doing well. Ed is currently finally home from work. He's been working almost nonstop since November. He works out on a vessel out on the Gulf of Alaska. And he has a wonderful channel as well. So be sure to check out Ed's channel over at Mountain Mariner Off-Grid Alaska. And he says, almost missed a live. Hello, everybody. Hello, Ed. Glad to see you. Hunting and Stuff says good luck to Linda. And Matt AK is saying hi to Ed. Survivor 4041, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you. And says, not getting my notifications, almost missed my favorite gal in Alaska, or favorite gal thriving in Alaska. Well, thank you for that, Survivor. I'm not sure why the notification sometimes works and sometimes they don't, but I did hear that on the live streams last night that people were saying they're not getting the notifications. So YouTube sometimes is funky with that, but thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it and appreciate the compliment as well. And JD here, how are you doing tonight? JD says, cheers from the Canadian Rockies. So glad you could join us tonight, JD. Nice to see you again. Follow Alaska says to Ed over at Mountain Mariner, how are you doing tonight? And Happy Chappy Van Life, how are you doing tonight, Happy? Happy says, alone, my friend. The plates came today. Awesome, awesome. that means that Happy can start filming some videos for us again, and that she can take her RV out and about, or vehicle out and about. That's good to see. I am very happy for you that she just moved up here, or well, she's in California right now, but she'll be moving up to Alaska this spring, or hopefully this spring. So Billy Sutton says to Cranky Aunt Linda, you'll be in my thoughts and prayers. That can definitely be scary. Cancer survivor here too. Congratulations on that, Billy. Hoping and praying the best for you. And I agree. We're all pulling for you there, Cranky Aunt Linda. And Matt Scratch says evening to Ed, as well does Tony from our cabin in the woods. Rushing Wind Mountain says doing great and hope you guys are doing the same at Living Free Alaska. And then also said hello to Joanne. Delbert says I live in northern New York, northeast of Waterton, New York. And JR says hello, just finished my dinner with friends. Saying hello to Rob and Sarah over at Curmudgeon, Ruby at Rushing Wind Mountain, and Matt at Matt's 1791 Garage, and Matt AK. And Old School Alaska says, good to see you, Ed. Clint says to Cranky Aunt Linda, hopefully everything will be okay. And prayers. I agree. Curmudgeon says to Ed over at Mount Mariner, how are you doing, Ed? Ed says 31 degrees here and sloppy wet snow up here, lower temperatures and fresh snow later in the week, though. So Ed lives on top of a mountain here in Alaska, and he has probably the most remote property out of all the YouTube channels that I personally follow. He's got a pretty cool channel. JR says to Ed, howdy. And Billy Sutton is saying hi to JD. And there is Ed's channel link for Mountain Mariner Off-Grid Alaska. Be sure to pay Ed a visit and tell him Alone sent you. Brian over the vineyard is saying hi there to Monica Lynn and to Ed. And we got Ashley saying hello to JR. And Finra Tickle says, have you a bunker or a cellar in time? You know, Putin wants Alaska back. Well, I don't think Putin's going to get Alaska back, but I do have a cellar, a 30 by 30 foot cellar underneath my cabin. And I have a bunkhouse. I almost said an outhouse, which I do also, but I also have a bunkhouse. So if something happens to my main cabin, I do have another cabin that I can go reside in. Provided that the whole property isn't a loss. But thanks for the warning and good to see you here. And let's see here. Brian is saying hello to D Stew. And we got more salutations going on. Ace is saying alone, did Kenai get paid for the video work? Or can you sweet talk him? Or can you sweet talk a bit more for another fur film? Yeah, I paid him with lots of treats. He got lots and lots of cookies. We'll have to see if he's up for the task to do it again. Ed is saying to everyone, or to Rob, busy, trying to get many things done up here. Completed everything just now for my trek back to town, probably on Friday or Saturday. Good luck with that hauling of that snow machine that you got going on there, Ed. Doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like something I'd want to do. I'm just put it that way. Follow Alaska says to Ed, plus wind, about the same here too, plus wind. Yeah, lots of wind right now. And Brian is saying, hey there to Love and Truth. Cranky Aunt Linda says, thanks everyone. I'm just feeling alone, so your support and company is so appreciated. Well, we're all with you there in spirit, Linda, for sure. Absolutely. And like I said, we'll keep you in our prayers, but you have to make sure that you follow up and let us know how you're doing, because we will be thinking about you the whole time. Survivor 4041 says, you are one brave gal, Bigfoot, big cat, big wolf, whatever it might be. There are no big cats here in Alaska, very commonly. Anyhow, once in a while, a cat will come over from Canada, but they don't last very long. The biggest cat we have here is a lynx. And yeah, I guess they could be kind of scary, but for the most part, they run off when they see people. So they don't at least chase after you like a not a bobcat, but like a mountain lion would. D Stu says, hi to Brian. Hope you're doing well. And Living Free Alaska says, got to fold my sourdough loaf. Be right back. Oh, that sounds delicious. I was saying the other night, just last night, we were talking about sourdough on some of the other lives. And I was saying, I don't eat bread very often, but when I do enjoy it. That's for sure. Mountain Mariner says only 7-mile-per-hour winds up here right now. You were lucky because the winds here, like I said, are 25 to 30 mile an hour. But it's helped to get the snow off the roof, so I'm not minding. And Lois from Ohio, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you in here. Lois says, hello, glad to be here. Well, we're glad you're here as well. So nice to see you. Delbert says, I smashed my phone to pieces and my backup computer died at the same time. Thus, I lost control of my YouTube channel. I did make another channel, but don't have anything on it yet. Good to know. But sorry about your phone and your computer. I'm glad to see you're back online, though. And my camera just stopped. I'm afraid that if I disconnect my camera, that it is going to stop the live stream. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Let me text someone and see if they can help. Sorry about that, folks. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. And hopefully the camera starts moving again soon. I'm going to try to fix it, but I want to make sure that I don't disconnect the live stream. So bear with me. Let's see here. I'm still here, folks, so hopefully you can hear me. I'll be right back on the live stream in just one moment. I'm just resetting the current settings on my camera so that everything is good. All right, can you see me again? Hopefully everybody's still there. It looks like the live stream's still going. So sorry about that. And my camera froze up earlier too before the live stream. So hopefully it doesn't do it again. Debbie Rich, thank you for being here tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Debbie says, I love the work you did on the basement clutter. Great job on the shelves. I actually built some other shelves down there just recently and started going through all the boxes and the tubs. I have a little bit more work to do that down there. So maybe I'll show you that in an upcoming video as well. But I figured I've already shown building shelves twice now. I don't think I need to continue to show how I build shelves in the basement, but it is looking a lot better down there. So thank you. And JR says, everyone hit the thumbs up. Thank you for that, JR. Greatly appreciate it. And Brian is saying hi to Susan Marr and Lois and Debbie. Nice of that. And Old School Alaska saying hello to Debbie as well. Rushing Wind Mountain is saying, hope everyone gets better soon, to Monica. I agree. Delbert says, Miss Alone, I lost my old Yahoo email too. I use Gmail now. Good to know. Good to know. I'll be on the lookout for it, Delbert. Thank you for that. And more salutations going on here. And Rob is saying nice to Ed over at Mountain Mariner. And Gina Bradford, how are you doing tonight? Gina says, love watching your lifestyle of living. Gina from Alabama. Well, thank you for being in the chat tonight, Gina. I greatly appreciate that. And thank you for the compliment. Matt AK is saying to Ed over at Mountain Mariners Off Grid Alaska, how's the turbine doing on the shorter pole? So Ed is also one of the people doing the Snow Pole Challenge as well. And he has both solar and wind turbine power up there at his property. And we got some more salutations going on. And our cabin in the woods says, crack up my snow pole is 3 inches here. Oh my goodness. I did see that you got some snow recently. I wonder how if you're getting any ice storms this year though, Tony. That's what I've been curious about. And Vineyard Brian over at the Vineyard Farmhouse is saying, hey there to Gina Bradford. And JR is saying howdy to Brian. Billy Sutton says, hi, Gina. I'm in Alabama too, Prattville, just north of Montgomery. JR is saying hi to Ashley over at Old School Alaska, who is saying hello back. Hunting and Stuff says, Alone, I'm glad you're healed. Me too. I am very glad that my foot healed up nicely. Thank you for that. And Jeff Stout, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you in here tonight, Jeff. Jeff says, thank you for your homestead videos. So down to earth and enjoyable. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, lots of people have been catching bugs last couple of weeks. Thank you. Yeah, well, I hope that I don't get sick. Luckily, you know, I'm out here by myself and I don't normally see people, but if ever I run into town, that is one of the things that I worry about is, am I going to catch something because I haven't been around anybody to keep my immune system up. So hope everybody who is under the weather gets to feeling better soon for sure. And Living Free Alaska says, okay, I'm back. Hope I didn't miss much. Not a whole lot, but glad you're back. And says, absolutely. We had a copper sinks in our old house in Washington. So pretty. That they are. I absolutely love the copper. I put a copper faucet in the kitchen, even though I don't have running water in my cabin. I do have it plumbed to a 55-gallon barrel of water, and I absolutely love the faucet. Ed is saying to Matt AK, the Air 30 blades don't seem to spin up until the wind hits 15 miles per hour on the Air 40 turbine. Okay, so on the smaller one, the blades don't seem to spin until the winds hit 15 mile per hour on the Air 40 turbine. I've got new blades coming for the 40. Nice to know. And Follow Alaska is saying, did you get your bread done to Living Free Alaska? Matt's Garage says, I think we'd get more use from a liquid sunshine rain gauge here in Pennsylvania rather than a snow pole. Yeah, well, maybe we'll do a rain gauge challenge this spring, because the spring and the fall are the rainy seasons for Alaska for sure, at least where I live. And there is Rob's channel link for Curmudgeon, Alaska. Be sure to pay them a visit and tell Rob and Sarah I said hello. And Joanne Twist says hello to Living Free Alaska. Living Free says to follow Alaska. Just started my overnight bulk ferment. Very cool. Very cool. Billy is saying to Cranky Aunt Linda, I just heard Alone read your comment about your brother. I'm so sorry. As we all are. Matt's Garage is getting a laughing face from Billy Sutton. And Living Free Alaska says hi to Alaska Cut the Cord, as does JR. Mountain Mariner says, once I get the new turbine blades for the 40, I'll get the Air 30 blades reinstalled on the workshop turbine. And Cynthia Harrell, how are you doing tonight? Hope I pronounced your last name correctly. I'm so glad to see you in here. Cynthia says hello from the East Coast of the lower 48. Well, nice to have you in here. I am always glad to see some new names in here. So thank you for joining the chat tonight. Billy is saying hello, is Ashley from Old School, Alaska. Rob over at Curmudgeon is saying to Ed at Mountain Mariner Off Grid, nice. We wish we had wind up here to get us set up. Yeah, I have wind here in the spring and the fall generally. But not enough, I don't think, not consistently enough to generate much power here as you do where you're at, Ed. And Susan Gartman, nice to see you in here as well. Hello from Louisiana, she says. Always glad to see, like I said, some new names in here. JR is saying hello to Cynthia. Howdy and welcome. Matt's Garage says, hey there. Also to Cynthia, what state are you from? And Rushing Wind says, thanks to myself and to Rob over at Curmudgeon. And again, some more salutations. Billy says hi to Susan. P&J's Homestead Adventure says, Alone, we saw that video. Are you starting any seeds inside? I will be starting some seeds here probably next week because before I know it, spring will be here. But I haven't quite determined what it is that I'm going to be growing this year. So last year I did potatoes, carrots. I tried to do radishes. They did not turn out. Daikon radishes also didn't grow. Cabbages, they did fairly well. The peas were so-so. Zucchini didn't really do very well. Didn't think what else I grew. The carrots were very, very tiny, but they got shaded by the zucchini. So this year I'll be moving some things around because the back of the property won't be ready to put a formal garden out there this year. One more year and I should be able to get the back garden put in and do a proper garden. But right now I have a garden on the north side of the cabin, which I know sounds crazy, but I do get sunshine on that side of the cabin for about 8 hours out of the day during the summer months. So Matt AK says to Ed over at Mount Mariner, glad to hear that the mismatched blades don't wreck the turbine anyway. There you go. And Clint is saying hello to Susan, and Susan says hello to Ashley. Donna Heaton, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you again. Donna says hello to all. Bless each one of you. Good to see you, Alone. Well, thank you, Donna. I'm always glad to see you in the chat. Rushing Wind Mountain is saying hello to Susan Gartman, and Old School Alaska is saying hello to Donna. Ira says, just a special shout out to Rob and Sarah, Billy Sutton, and everyone else that graciously gave my mom and I hellos. Well, you are so welcome for that, Ira and Lorraine. We love you guys and hope that you guys are doing well and that you have a safe trip when you go down to Florida. Billy Sutton is saying hello to Donna, and Cynthia says Maryland is where she's located, to Matt's Garage. Curmudgeon says to Ira, you are very welcome. We know Mom is watching and listening. JR says, I walked into Applebee's Get ready for the humor, everyone. I walked into Applebee's and yelled, "The cheaters van just pulled up. 5 guys and 3 girls jumped up and ran out." Oh my. Lisa Oster Fulton says, "Hello to all. Thank you for the warm welcome." You're very much welcome. We appreciate you being here tonight with us. And we got some laughing going on at JR's joke. Billy Sutton says to Ira, "We're just glad you all are here." We agree. And Matt's Garage says to Cynthia, "Oh, great. We're just up in Pennsylvania, north of Pittsburgh." And AFJ the third is here. Arlen, how are you doing tonight? Arlen says, "Good evening alone. So good to see you tonight," and all in the chat. Well, I'm glad to see you as well, Arlen. Hope you're doing well. I'm always happy when I can see your avatar there and see you in the chat. Kim Renee, how are you doing tonight? Kim says, "Been binge watching your channel since I found you. Very enjoyable." Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That makes me feel good, and I am glad to see you here with us tonight. JR says to Lisa, "Welcome." And Billy Sutton is laughing at JR's joke. Cynthia says hello to everyone. Well, hello back again. And Ashley is saying hello to AFJ, as is Rob. And Rob is also saying hello to Cynthia. Billy Sutton saying hello. And JR is saying hello to Billy Sutton. Matt also saying hello to AFJ. And Clark Leakins, how are you doing tonight, Clark? Good to see you again. Clark says, "How did you find a doctor and a dentist who accepts your health insurance? Do you have a health insurance plan?" So, when I had my health insurance through my employer in Colorado, when I transitioned, you have to go through and you have to put in update all your information. They actually then, through the HR company that they worked with, they actually found an insurance provider for me up here in Alaska through the same insurance company that they were using in the lower 48. But the insurance provider that I had up here in Alaska luckily was accepted at the clinic that I went to and the dentist that I went to. Finding a dentist at the time when I needed a dentist was rather difficult, though, because I had an appointment at one clinic, and the day of my appointment, they said, "Oh, no, the dentist called out. He won't be back for a week." I called a dentist in the next town over, and they said, "Oh, no, he's out all winter." So then I had to go down into Valdez to see a dentist down there, and luckily he was able to get me in. So finding healthcare up here can be difficult. Just recently, I thought about getting Kenai a physical, and I would have to either go back down to Valdez or go into the Matsu Valley to get Kenai physical with the veterinarian. So even the medical clinic up here is only daytime hours. It's like basically like an urgent care clinic. I mean, they have a little bit of everything there, but they're not open late at night. So if you need a hospital late at night, chances are you're going to be taking an ambulance or a helicopter or an airplane ride into the main part of Alaska to get hospital care. So, but currently my health insurance is non-existent. So knocking on wood that I haven't been sick. I did still have health insurance at the time that I hurt my foot, but that has since gone away because I was doing the whole Cobra thing, which is very, very expensive. So I will be reinstating some health insurance here soon. So, and Old School Alaska says hello to Kim Renee. And JR is getting a hello from Billy Sutton. And there is Matt's 1791 Garage. Channel link. Sorry about that. Thank you for putting that up there, Rob. Greatly appreciate it. And Matt's Garage is saying, "Hey there" to Arlen. What's going on? And Old School is saying hello to Clark Leakins. Matt is saying thank you to Rob. And Ira says, "Prayers sent to you, cranky Aunt Linda." Billy Sutton says hi to Kim. And Rushing Wind Mountain Ruby says hi to Ira. And Clint says, or I'm sorry, Billy Sutton says hi to Clint, "Recipe for disaster," and was laughing at that. Arlen is saying hello to Rob and Sarah, Old School Alaska, Matt AK, and Matt's Garage. Hi, y'all from Louisiana, or I'm sorry, Lower Alabama. I will remember that now, Arlen, Lower Alabama. Sorry about that. Rob is saying hello to Happy Chappy. It says, "Good to see you. You stuck in on me." And Arlen is getting a hello from Ruby, and Arlen says good evening to Ruby in return. Again, more salutations. Billy says hi to Happy Chappy. And Delbert says, thanks, Miss Alone. I'll send the pics after I get off of here. It's furniture I built for a friend. Very, very cool. And Darlene Brown, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you, Darlene. Darlene says, Mark and Darlene, hello from Roseville, Georgia, next door to Chattanooga, Tennessee. Very cool. Glad to have you here. Thank you for joining the chat. And Ashley is saying hello to Darlene. Hunting and Stuff says to Rob over Curmudgeon, can you send me Mountain Mariner's link? I can't remember if I am followed him or not. Well, he is definitely one to follow for sure. And Claire, how are you doing, Claire? I'm going to not butcher your last name by trying to pronounce it. I probably could, but I don't want to add any insult to it, so I won't do that. But Claire, thank you for being here. Claire says, sorry, I'm late. I'll catch up tomorrow. Well, if you're watching this on the replay, for anybody who's just joining in, the full live stream is available on replay. And if you watch it in double speed, it is actually kind of fun to watch, I have to admit. So good little hint for everybody there. Cranky Aunt Linda says, Alone, can I borrow you to help me organize? I don't know. I might get so caught up in just chit chat that we wouldn't get anything done. But sure, I would love to. Only you got to bring all your mess up to Alaska because I'm not going back down to the lower 48. And Rob is saying to Hunting and Stuff, give me a minute and I will post his link. Billy is saying hi to Darlene. And there is Ed's link for you. We're at Mountain Mariner Off-Grid, Alaska. So be sure to pay Ed a visit. Hunting and Stuff is saying thank you. And Rob says you're welcome. Matt's Garage says, with this early warm-up, now tempted to start something outside or some outside projects, but I'm not done with all the inside stuff. Isn't that always the case? I don't know that I'll ever be done. And I know that I'm going to hold off on doing anything outside for a few months because otherwise it's just going to snow again and it'll all get buried again. Billy says, hi, Hunting and Stuff. Now, or just now subscribe to your channel. Well, thank you for doing that, Billy. And Darlene says, do you know Tim from Truck House Life? We watch him and a couple others from Alaska. I've seen his channel. I don't know him personally, but he's got a great channel for sure. He's always got some adventure going on. And he's got a cool little band that he plays with as well. P&J's Homestead says, we can hear you. So that's good. Wow, I'm way behind in comments. Sorry for that. So I'm going to skip over some of these from when I was frozen. Matt's Garage says to Darlene, Tim at Truck House Life sure has some adventures. And let's see here, skipping over. Billy says, cool animation on the logo. Thank you for that. A friend of mine made that for me. I really appreciate it. Clint Gilchrist says, I bet Dewey could fix it right up. Let's hope, right? And Lisa, thank you for being here tonight. I greatly appreciate it. And P&J says, you're back. All good tech things happen. Yeah, luckily I was able to get back in here. And Marty Hetrick, thank you for being here again, Marty. Greatly appreciate it. And the thumbs up. And let's see here. Billy's saying hi to Marty, and Rushing Wind is saying yes. And Matt's Garage says, maybe pretty please Alone could let us just see inside one of her classified boxes from the basement, just a peek. If they wouldn't be classified if I kept them, if I made them public. And Marty is saying hi to Billy, and Love and Truth says to Matt's Garage, we're just north of PGH2. I believe that's Pittsburgh. Marty says prayers for all that are ill. Thank you, Marty. I'm sure they greatly appreciate it. Gina says, I'm in Dothan, Alabama. Gina from Alabama. Matt's Garage says, loving the truth. Oh, really? How far north? We're in Cranberry 2 by the, or I don't know what TWP stands for. Sorry. PLT Fabrication says, I live in Pennsylvania. Our home stores are 17 miles away. How difficult is it for you to get to the building supplies? Well, there is a building supply store or a hardware store in Glen Allen. So roughly an hour or so away from where I live. But the issue with them is that their prices are rather high. So sometimes I find it's just easier to go into town and get my building supplies and stock up on groceries and other things that I need. So if I'm doing that, that means that I'm making a 4.5 to 5 hour drive, depending upon where I'm going. And it cost me roughly $200 in gas round trip. So it's costly to do it, but depending upon what I'm getting and what I need to get at the time, like I said, sometimes it's worth it to make that trip into the Matsu Valley or into Fairbanks. And Billy Sutton says, thumbs up to Gina, not so far away. Marty says, I'm from Washington State. Well, glad to have you here again, Marty. Always good to see you. Rushing Wind is saying hello to Gina. And Living Free says to Marty, where in Washington we moved to Alaska from Spokane. Happy Chappy says, hey, Alone, random question, but do you get cravings for things you don't have? Do I? I don't know. I'm so well stocked up that I can pretty much make just about anything that I want. Though I have to admit that about this time of the year, I start craving fresh greens. So I freeze green peppers and zucchinis and cabbage and things like that. But I really start craving the fresh vegetables is what I crave. I mean, I have carrots still and some beets and my potatoes, but I really want fresh greens. Though I'm not a salad eater. I don't like lettuce or salads very frequently. But I would think that's about the only thing that I really get a craving for. And it's only about this time of the year. But that's a great question. Rushing Wind Mountain says to Marty, I'm from Eastern Washington. And Marty says, I'm at Port Townsend, Washington. I love Port Townsend. Anything up there, you know, by the Puget Sound and on the north, I just absolutely love it. Happy Chappy says, I need chocolate and I don't have any, hence the random question. I am not a chocolate girl. I will eat chocolate, but really it's caramels. I love soft, chewy caramels. So I feel your pain, but I have so many caramels here. Thanks to Original Six. She sent me a huge box and I'm still making my way through all of those. And Rob is laughing at Happy Chappy. And Hiri, how are you doing tonight? And I probably mispronounced your name. I'm sure it's Sherry. But says watching from the peninsula in Washington State. There we go. There's another one. Awesome. Glad to have you here. And Living Free Alaska says nights. I like Port Townsend. And Lisa, how are you doing tonight? Lisa says looking forward to you. We have a lot of Lisas in here tonight, a lot of new ones. I says looking forward to learning how y'all live there. Watching from Kentucky. Well, welcome and thank you for joining the chat tonight. And I hope that you're making your way through the library to see how I've made it up here so far. And I'll be showing you more as I go along. And Happy Chappy says, hey, Rob and Sarah. And Marty says, it gets crowded. That I bet, especially in the summertime. And Curmudge Inn says, yes, it does. Explorer in Tennessee, thank you for being here. Nice to see you tonight. And thanks for joining the chat. Billy says to Marty, I'm an ex-Navy nuclear power. Wow, that's pretty cool. And I am aware that of the Hanford site. I think that is the name. I hope you're not too close to that. Wow. Yeah, nuclear power is kind of scary. I know that's the way that they're trying to move everything to these days, but it's not something I'm looking forward to. Marty says, okay to Billy. And Sherry, I'm going to call you Sherry. So if I'm mispronouncing it, I apologize. Says, from Port Angeles, Washington, you're living my dream. Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad you are here and hopefully you're living vicariously through my channel. And Explorer says, I'm in West Tennessee. Well, welcome again. Greatly appreciate it. And Marty says she's a caregiver. Marty, I'm assuming you're a girl. If you're not, I apologize. But Marty is a caregiver. That's a very cool occupation to have and takes one of compassion for sure. So thank you for that. And Rob says, hey to Brent Free, are you still in here? And Billy is saying hi to Sherry and hi to Explorer. Colorado Pat Prepper, how are you doing tonight? CPP says, howdy y'all. So glad you could be here. And Rob is saying hi to CPP. So is Billy Sutton. And CPP is saying hi back or howdy to Curmudge Inn. Matt is saying, what's up? And Alaska Cut the Cord is saying, good evening. Hunting and Stuff says, Alone, I didn't know you were from Colorado. That's where I live. Very cool. Yep, I grew up, was born and raised there and lived my whole life there. So love Colorado, but Alaska is like Colorado on steroids for sure. And very cool because I do still love Colorado. And CPP says, howdy, Matt. Not much. Alaska Cut the Cord says hello to Hunting and Stuff and Matt's Garage. And Rushing Wind is saying hello to Sherry. Welcome. M from Eastern Washington State herself. Hunting and Stuff says, hey there to cut the cord. CPP also saying hello. Rushing Wind is saying hello to Explorer. Sorry, I have the hiccups again. Kathy Barron, how are you doing tonight? She says hello from Michigan. So glad to see you. Glad you could be here. Living Free says got to run. Gary just called dinner time. Hope everyone has a wonderful evening. Chat soon. You guys take care, and I'll see you on your next video. Marty says Washington State people are awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear. Billy is saying hi to Kathy. CPP and Kathy get a hello from Rushing Wind Mountain. Follow Alaska says to Living Free Alaska, you guys have a good evening. Good night from Curmudgeon. And Alaska Cut the Cord is saying to Curmudgeon, the plastic gave up on the greenhouse today. Oh no. I know Follow Alaska lost their shelter logic in the last storm too. So yeah, anything with that plastic on it, just eventually it's going to wind up giving out from all the snow we get up here. But sorry to hear about the greenhouse. Right before spring too, and now it means you're gonna have to go back out there and recover it. That's never fun. Rushing Wind Mountain, Ruby says yes they are to Marty. Billy Sutton says good night to Living Free. See you next time. Cheers from Matt AK. Alaska Cut the Cord is getting a big no from Rob and Sarah over at Curmudgeon. And Marla Martucci, how are you doing tonight, Marla? Good to see you in here tonight. Marla says, hello alone. Hope you're well. And hello to all the viewers. Well, thank you for that, Marla. Hope you're doing well also. Rushing Wind is saying good night to Billy Sutton. And Marty says, yes. And Love and Truth says to Matt's Garage, Cranberry was my old stomping grounds. Now Beaver. There you go. And Rushing Wind is saying hello to Marla. And CPP is saying howdy to me. Thank you for that, Colorado Pack Rat Prepper. Alaska Cut the Cord is saying good evening to Billy Sutton, Arlen, and Happy Chappy Van Life. Alaska Cut the Cord is also saying hello to Marla Martucci. And Marty Hendricks says, okay, I've got to go. This was fun. See you next time. Good night. Good night, Marty. Have a good night and see you on the next one. And there is Scott with Rambling with the Brooms. Hello, Scott. How are you doing? And Scott also has a wonderful channel out of Canada, on the eastern side of Canada. So if you would like to check him out, be sure to pay him a visit and see what he's got going on. He's got some fun things always, and he's always doing some live streams as well. Rob is saying hello to Scott, and Billy Sutton says, I'm not leaving yet to Ruby. Lol, I was just saying goodnight to Living Free Alaska. And Alaska Cut the Cord is saying hello to Rambling with the Brooms. And there is Scott's channel link. So be sure, like I said, to pay him a visit. And Scott just became a member for the 3rd month. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate the compliment. And my camera froze again. So I'm going to reset the camera one more time. So bear with me, folks, while I tend to that. Sorry, I have to go underneath the computer to get it working. So, or underneath the desktop there. So I apologize for that. Let's see here. It's going to take me just one moment to reset all the parameters on the computer. I don't know why it keeps doing that to me tonight, but hopefully this will be the last time, and I'll get right back into those comments. All right, there we go. I am back again. Thank you, Scott, for your membership. I greatly appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And Colleen F says, love your channel. Thank you for that, Colleen, and glad to see you here tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Scott is saying hello to Adam and Rob. And CPP says, I'm supposed to get up to the lower 60s next week, I hope. So Colorado Pack Rat Prepper is in the mountains of Colorado, and upper 60s, that's kind of warm for February, if I remember correctly. And Alaska Cut the Cord says howdy to P&J's Homestead Adventure. How's it going? Scott says thanks to Rob, or thanks, Rob. And Kim over at AK Dog Mom 3 says love and truth, lifelong Cranberry TWP resident here too. I don't know what TWP stands for. I should know, I feel like, but I don't. Sorry about that. And Boot Knife, how are you doing tonight? Boot Knife says, hello, Miss Alone. Good to see you again. And Hunting and Stuff says, Pack Rat Prepper, we were over 60 degrees here today. So 60 in Colorado all the way around, it sounds like. Things are warming up fast. It looks like we're all having a false spring. Curmudgeon is saying sup to Boot Knife. And P&J's Homestead Adventure says, hi, Phyllis. Hi, Adam. Doing good. Thank you. How are you two tonight? At Alaska Cut the Cord. And Ruby is saying hello to Kim over at AK Dog Mom 3. Alaska Cut the Cord is saying to Paula and Jason over at P&J's Homestead Adventure. Doing great. It's a full spring here for sure. JNR or JNR. You might have two personalities. JR says, my ex wants to humiliate me in front of her friends. So she said I was useless in bed. Should have seen her face when they all disagreed. Ooh, boo. And Matt's Garage is saying, hey there to Boot Knife. And there is PTL Fabrications channel link. Be sure to pay them a visit and tell them that Alone and Rob over at Curmudgeon sent you. Billy Sutton is laughing at JR. Brent Free is saying hi to Alaska Cut the Cord. And Clint is laughing at JR's joke as well. Paul and Jason are saying to Alaska Cut the Cord, enjoy it while you can. A nice little break from the cold. For sure. Going into the 40s here too. Yeah, things are definitely a little warm outside, but like I said, it won't be long, just a couple of days, and we'll be back in the negatives again, at least overnight. Alaska Cut the Cord is saying to Brent Free, awesome to see you in here. And Delbert is laughing at JR. Brent Free's channel link is right there. So again, if you are interested in Australia and mudlarking as well as metal detecting and all other things that she's got going on from gardening and such and so forth, some cooking as well, be sure to pay Brent a visit. I'm sure she would be more than happy to see you over there in her neck of the woods. Billy Sutton says, hi, Brent. I enjoyed watching your walk near the beach today. Such beautiful scenery she has. Hunting and Stuff says, humans didn't make their way to the top of the food chain to eat a damn salad. I agree. I have these teeth for eating meat. I definitely love me some red meat. Matt's Garage says to Brent Free, any metal detecting historical adventures coming up? And Cranky Aunt Linda is laughing at JR and blowing him a kiss at that. Loving the Truth says, y'all have a great night heading to bed and yum chocolate and caramel. Ain't that the truth? Well, good night, Loving the Truth. Thank you for being here. Greatly appreciate seeing you in the chat tonight. P&J's Homestead Adventure says to Brent Free, we loved your pics of the shovel. Very cool. Hunting and Stuff is getting a thumb up from Alaska Cut the Cord. And Matt's Garage is saying right to Hunting and Stuff regarding the salad comment. Brent Free says, thanks to Paula and Jason, I dig up such random stuff. Yes, you do, but a lot of it is very, very cool and historical. Billy Sutton says, Hunting and Stuff, gotta agree. Boot and Knife says hello to Rob at Curmudgeon. And Follow Alaska says to Brent Free, I did not get notified of the video. I'll have to watch it later tonight. Billy Sutton says, good night to Loving the Truth. And Rushing Wind Mountain is getting a hello from AK Dog Mom. And CPP says hello to Billy Sutton, and also to Ruby from Rushing Wind Mountain. And Northern Girl Hobbies, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you in here. Be sure to pay Northern Girl Hobbies a visit also. She says, good evening, Alone and everyone. Actually able to catch a live for a bit. Well, good to see you. I always appreciate it and hope you're doing well. And Rob is saying hello as well as Billy Sutton is, and Hunting and Stuff. And there is Northern Girl Hobbies channel link. As I mentioned, go over and pay her a visit. And Northern Girl Hobby says, hey, Rob and Sarah at the Curmudgeon, and Billy and Hunting and Stuff. And Elvis Kyle, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you again. Elvis says hello to Alone in Alaska from Elvis in Edmonton, Canada. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you again. P&J's Homestead Adventure says, hi, Jennifer and Alex at Northern Girl Hobbies. Always good to see you. Ace says, Annie, hope you have a wonderful week. I'll be watching your videos, that is. Well, thank you very much for that, Ace. Always appreciate it. And hope you have a wonderful week, too. Clint says, was nice seeing everyone again. I got to run. Until next time, stay safe. Good night, Clint. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening and stay warm down there in Texas. And Ace says, night, y'all. Night, Ace. Get some sleep and take care of yourself. And thanks for joining us again tonight. Northern Girl Hobby says hello from Ontario. Elvis, Paula, and Jason. Hey, yeah, and thank you, Crumbs, as in Curmudgeon. And Billy is saying hi to Elvis. And P&J is saying good night, Ace, and good night, Clint. Alaska Cut the Cord says, good evening, Northern Girl Hobbies and Ace. JR says, how long? Oh, there goes more ice off the roof. JR says, how long is a minute? Depends upon which side of the bathroom door you're on. Ain't that the truth? And Rambling with the Broom says, put up a lot of hearts. Thank you for that, Scott. Love you too. Hope you are doing well. Looking forward to all of your upcoming adventures. Happy Chappy is saying hello to Adam and Phyllis over at Alaska Cut the Cord. Billy Sutton is saying goodnight to Ace and sleep well. P&J's Homestead Adventures channel link is up on the screen now for everyone. If you would be so kind to pay Paula and Jason a visit. And Northern Girl Hobby says, Brums, Ace and Alaska Cut the Cord. P&J says, thank you to Rob. Delbert says, ha to JR. That sure is true. Oh my. Your reputation precedes you, JR. Weed Eater, how you doing tonight, my friend? Good to see you again. Weed Eater says, good evening alone, Kenai and all. Hope you're doing well. And I'd love to see some of your adventures you've been on lately, if you have been on any, or what you have going on this summer. I know you're always out and about. Curmudge Inn is saying hello to Weed Eater. Good to see you. How have you been? Alaska Cut the Cord is also saying good evening, as is Billy Sutton, and Ruby from Rushing Wind Mountain, as is JR. And he says hello, fellow Wingnut. Matt's Garage is also saying hello, and Raised in Alaska. Good to see you again. Sorry, I have a tickle in my nose. Raised in Alaska is here. It says hello alone. What projects are you working on? Right now, everything is in limbo. I mentioned it earlier. There are so many projects in the works, but it will be a couple months still, at least a month, maybe a month and a half before I have access to pick up supplies to get working on some projects. So currently the only project that is actually in progress right now is that kitchen counter, getting it sealed and all put together, and some finishing touches on the kitchen. So that'll be coming up here soon as well on the channel. But good to see you. Raised in Alaska has a wonderful channel. If you're into hunting, fishing, and everything outdoors, Raised in Alaska is the place to be. So be sure to check out his channel. I'm sure Rob will put up his channel link here for everybody as well. And CPP says, yes, 60s is unusual for this time of year in Colorado. I would think so. Absolutely. And Lolanda, how are you doing tonight? Lolanda says, hi, Alone. Good morning from Romania. Great to see you. Great to see you as well. Hope you're doing wonderful yourself, and so glad to see you in the chat. I really appreciate it. And Rob is saying, good to see you to Raised in Alaska. Oh, I should have known that. Thank you. AK Dog Mom 3 says TWP equals township. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. I get it now. And Curmudge Inn has put up Raised in Alaska's channel link. So like I said, if you're into the great outdoors here in Alaska and seeing all the beautiful moose and fishing and everything like that, be sure to check out Raised in Alaska's channel link. And CPP says, howdy, hunting and stuff. Hunting and stuff says two toilet wiping paper is what TWP stands for. The mind does wander into mysterious places when you don't know what you're reading. And Hunting and Stuff says, how are you doing, Pack Rat? And he meant TWP. Matt AK says, howdy to Ray at Raised in Alaska. Billy Sutton is also saying hello. Northern Girl Hobbies saying Bren is great. I agree. Bren has a fabulous channel. And CPP is saying howdy to Northern Girl. Alaska Cut the Cord is saying to Matt AK and Raised in Alaska, how are you fine people? Ray is saying thank you to Curmudge Inn, and Curmudge Inn is saying you're welcome. And Northern Girl Hobbies is saying hello to Colorado Pack Rat Prepper. Matt AK is saying to Alaska Cut the Cord, been editing and working on a new computer build for my mom. Very cool. That's awesome. Raised in Alaska is saying hello to Billy and Matt. Troy Sutton, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you, Troy. Troy says, hey there. Good to see everyone. Glad to see you in here also. Raised in Alaska says hello to Alaska Cut the Cord. And Alaska Cut the Cord has put up Paula and Jason's Homestead Adventures link. So be sure to pay P&J Homestead Adventures a visit, if you will. Getting a little tongue-tied here. Weed Eater is saying hello to Curmudge Inn, Alaska Cut the Cord, and JR. Good evening to y'all as well. And we got some more salutations and thank yous going on here. I'm going to skip over some of those. Let's see here. Northern Girl Hobby says, thank you for the positivity. You are more than welcome. We all love your channel. Alaska, or Follow Alaska, says, hey there to Troy Sutton and Ray at Raised in Alaska. Matt's 1791 Garage says, what's up to Troy? And again, more salutations going on here. And Jerry Fox, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you again. Jerry says hello from warm for the season, Manitoba. Yes, it is warm all the way around, it seems like right now. I guess we should all be appreciative that we're getting a little bit of warm weather and a little reprieve from the freezing temps. Matt's Garage channel link is up on the screen for everybody, so be sure to pay Matt a visit at his channel if you would. And Karen E, how are you doing tonight? Karen E is also coming to us from Minnesota. Just subbed. Traveling on ferry video was really good. Well, thank you for that, Karen. And thank you for subbing to the channel. And thank you for joining the chat tonight. Glad to see you in here. And Alaska Cut the Cord is put up Old School Alaska's channel link. So be sure to pay Ashley a visit over his new channel and tell him Alone and Alaska Cut the Cord sent you. Cranky Aunt Linda says meds are knocking her out. Gotta go. Thanks for the conversation, everyone. Stay safe and stay healthy. And our prayers are with you, Linda. So do keep us posted on how you're doing. We will definitely be keeping you in our thoughts as you make your way through your surgery and your treatments. Northern Girl Hobby says rushing wind evening. The new phone is awkward. Dang technology changes yet again. Yes, technology. I cannot keep up with it myself. That's for sure. And Rushing Wind or Ruby is saying, sorry to hear that to Northern Girl Hobbies. Matt is saying, any fun plans specific to your channel this year? Nothing that I have anything like set in stone with. I am definitely looking to getting out and doing more fishing this year and hopefully actually catching a fish as opposed to just getting a bite and losing it. So fishing, definitely planning on doing some more hunting this year, doing some meetups with some other YouTube channels such as Alaska Cut the Cord and Curmudge Inn, and who knows what else I'll have going on this summer. But definitely getting out more this year than I did in the last couple. Last year I got out quite a bit, but I'm definitely looking forward to more adventures and showing you more of Alaska for sure. Billy Sutton says, good night to Linda. Sleep well. I'll be thinking of you. And there is Curmudgeon's channel link. So be sure to pay Rob and Sarah a visit. Thank you, Adam and Phyllis, for putting that up. And Rob has repaid the kindness by putting up Alaska Cut the Cord's channel link. So be sure to pay Adam and Phyllis a visit as well. Thank you for both for doing that. Billy is saying hi to Karen, and CPP says hunting and stuff. All is good here. And Steve Miller, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you in here again. Steve says, so glad to see you live again. Hope you're doing well. I am doing fabulous. Thank you for asking and good to see you, like I said. Northern Girl Hobby says, right on, Matt. Hunting and Stuff says, much snow in the mountains, Pack Rat. I have seen a snowpack report. I'm sure he means have not seen a snowpack report, and I have not seen one for Alaska either. So all I can tell you is what I got on my doorstep currently, and hopefully it doesn't get too much more before winter makes its way out. But I like the snow, so maybe we'll get more. Who knows? JR says, on his deathbed, my granddad said to me, remember these two words. They'll open a lot of doors in your life. Push and pull. That is definitely true. I'm reading your jokes with a little bit of caution after the last one. Hunting and Stuff says, haven't seen, can't type tonight. Welcome to the club. I think that's most of us on most nights. Alaska Cut the Cord is laughing at JR, as is Billy Sutton with a groan. And JR is saying that it must be Adam who said nice to his joke. Happy Chappie says, hey, Lone, is your fence going up this year? That I don't know. I don't think it is because I still have some work that's being done to level the back of the yard, the back of the property. And that is not expected to be finished until the fall next year. So I think the fence is going to stay down until I get some more trees cleared because my contractor didn't hit the last corner that I needed him to. And like I said, there's some more leveling that needs to take place. So probably next summer is when the fence will be going up in the back of the property. And that's going to be a huge undertaking for sure. A very expensive project. But I'm still debating on how exactly that fence is going to be constructed. So more to come on that one. And Wayne Sperlin, good to see you again. Wayne is coming to us from Denver, North Carolina. Well, always good to see you in here, Wayne. Hope you're doing well. Alaska Cut the Cord said to JR, in fact, this is actually Adam. And Ed at Mountain Mariner Off Grid Alaska saying, psh, warm weather, need cold and much more snow. That's how I think. I like the snow. Bring it on is what I say. And Ruby is saying hey there to Wayne Sperlin, as is Billy Sutton. And Matt's Garage says to JR, that reminds me of the Far Side cartoon. Oh, I love the Far Side. School for the Gifted, front door reads pull, and everyone is pushing. That's typically how I think it works in my life, is I typically am pushing when I should be pulling. Northern Girl Hobby says, Mountain, we had a few days of utter cold to create more ice. Went fishing today and caught a beauty pike. That is fabulous. That is always good to hear. CPP says, hunting and stuff. There is a lot of snow up on the peaks. In my yard, I have a foot of snow. Temps next week ought to melt it away into mud. Yes, mud is never fun. Lolanda says, Alone, what are your plans for the garden this year? Well, my plan is to continue it in the same area that I did last year. I need to pick out what varieties of veggies I'm going to grow this year. Potatoes and carrots and cabbages are still on the list. But I don't know what else I'll be growing. And as I just mentioned, the back garden where the garden will eventually reside full time won't be going in this year. So still working on that same garden that I had last year, but hopefully planting some different varieties and switching things up just a bit this year. I was pretty happy with how it turned out last year, but we'll see how it works out this year and if I'm any more successful than I was last year. Hunting and Stuff says, no snow on the ground down here in the flatlands of Colorado. That is very interesting because I would have thought for sure you guys would have had some snow on the ground for sure. Billy says to Matt's Garage, I remember that one, the Far Side cartoon. That is. Alaska Cut the Cord says, or has put up Ed's channel link for Mountain Mariner Off Grid Alaska and asking how the weather's up there, Ed. Ed says, don't join the army if your name is Will. They always fire at will. That's a good joke. And Matt's Garage says to Billy Sutton, I could read Far Side for hours. I have an old Far Side comic book here someplace, like a nice thick book of the Far Side comics. Absolutely love those. And Calvin and Hobbes. The original Calvin and Hobbes were fabulous. Billy Sutton says, I could read Far Side for hours. Just read that. Sorry about that. JR says, I should give myself a timeout for that bad joke. Bazinga. Yes, yes, indeed. Alaska Cut the Cord says to Matt's 1790 Garage, 100% correct on that one. And Billy Sutton says, Matt's Garage, same here. I have some of his books. I'll look through now and then. They're always fun. Hunting and Stuff says, wow, she's nearly caught up. Yeah, I'm surprised. I was like looking here and see, I only have a couple more comments and I'm actually caught up. I was wondering, is anybody actually still on the live or did I scare you all off with tonight's live stream? Delbert says, my weather has been all over the place this winter. Overall, it's been warm though, but boy, it has snowed at times, but it warms up and melts. Right now, I have about 6 inches on the ground. That's how it's been here too. It's been get a few feet of snow, then it all melts, and then a few more, and then it melts. But I think for the most part, I've had about 2 feet of snow on the ground at any given point in the wintertime. Right now, like I said, I think I have about 3 out there. CPP says, Hunting and Stuff, I go to Colorado Springs a couple times a month and don't see much snow in the lower plains either. Very interesting. Colorado definitely is warming up. And Claire says, night all, sorry, but getting older. Welcome to the club, as are we all, I think. But get some sleep, and thank you for being here tonight. Greatly appreciate it. And Ed over at Mount Mariner Off Grid Alaska says, to Alaska Cut the Cord, weather is currently 35 degrees and a mixed drizzle and snow. Are you still getting rain out your way, Alaska Cut the Cord? Northern Girl Hobby says, if anyone needs seeds, feel free to contact. I might just do that because there are some seeds that I probably should replenish and get some fresh ones. Last year, one of the things that I tried to grow and was not very successful was leeks and onions because I think my seeds were way too old. So I might reach out to you and see what you have going on there. And Northern Girl Hobby says, good night to Claire. And Ed says, I need to get my seeds organized. Yeah, my seeds are all just in a big old crate. wooden crate, and they're not very well organized. And some of them are probably way too old, as I mentioned. And Billy Sutton says, good night to Claire. Matt's 1791 Garage says, Far Side family and pet dog gathered in the living room at night. Suddenly, room flooded with light and from car headlights and the angry sounds of a car engine being revved. And everyone knew the cat was home. That's funny. What do you call the security guards outside the Samsung factory? The Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh my goodness. Ed says, I have about 300 packs of seeds in a drawer and they're getting out of control. That's a lot of packs of seeds. I probably have, I don't know, 50, maybe 75, but 300, that's a lot. Rob is laughing at JR. Billy Sutton is laughing at Matt's Garage. And JR is getting a laugh from Matt's Garage as well. Oh my goodness, the hiccups are back. Follow Alaska is saying to Northern Good Hobbies, good to know, thank you. I agree. And Rob also says, I need to order seeds. It is that time of the year for sure. Delbert says, I think around 18 inches is the most snow we've had on the ground at one time this winter. Not very much for upstate New York, that's for sure. Alaska Cut the Cord says, no, the rain finally stopped. Our road is mush and all side roads are impassable ice. Oh no, that is not good. Not good at all. Northern Girl Hobby says, most welcome to Follow Alaska. And Billy Sutton is laughing at JR. Happy Chappy says, gotcha. I'm going to say goodnight to you for now. I look forward to chatting with you again next month. Take care, my friend. You too, Happy Chappy. And let us know when you get some videos posted and I'll go over and check them out. Looking forward to it. And Rustic Log Cabin Life. How are you doing, Big T? Big T is here. So everyone be sure to pay Big T a visit as well and check out his cooking videos and everything he's got going on at his little cabin in the woods. And thank you for being here, Big T. I greatly appreciate it. I always love seeing you in here. And Rushing Wind Mountain says, still here. Thank you for that, Ruby. Greatly appreciate it. Alaska Cut the Cord is saying goodnight to Happy Chappy. And Ruby is saying, hey there to Big T over at Rustic Log Cabin Life. JR says, okay, enough jokes for the live. No, bring them on. Continue. We don't mind. Hunting and Steph says, I won't tell any jokes. The ones I remember are terribly inappropriate. As are most of the jokes I think I know as well. Rob is saying goodnight to Happy Chappy. And Jerry Fox says, I don't know if you know about this, but the EU wants to ban heirloom seeds. Why would they ban heirloom seeds? Like, that doesn't make any sense. If the EU wants to ban heirloom seeds, that tells me that they're in cahoots with a company that ends in Santo, the first part, Santo, and that's not good. I don't want to get demonetized, so I'm not going to say it. But yeah, that's heirloom seeds is not the thing to demonetize for sure. Because these hybrid seeds, these GMO seeds, those are not the seeds you want to grow by any means. Colorado Pack Rat Pepper says, Delbert, I usually get a couple of 18 inches of snows, but the most this year so far has been a foot at a time. That is crazy. Things are definitely warmer in Colorado than they ever were, I think. Billy Sutton saying goodnight to Happy Chappy Van Life, and AK Dog Mom is saying, going to get some seeds started tomorrow. There you go. It looks like we're all on the same plan. Alaska Cut the Cord is saying Jerry Fox. And Northern Girl Hobby says Mountain. I haven't counted. Eek. Wow. I wonder how many you actually have as far as packs of seeds go. Delbert says minus 15 Fahrenheit is the coldest so far this winter. Last winter was minus 35 Fahrenheit and 5 feet on the ground. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I remember last year you saying you had a very harsh winter. Jerry Fox says 2 inches of snow only here in Manitoba. Wow, that's hardly any snow either. Wow, that's crazy. And Alaska Cut the Cord is saying that they heard that about the EU and the banning of heirloom seeds. Crazy. I also heard the article about how they're saying that, your homestead garden, your homegrown gardens are have a larger carbon footprint than big commercial farms do. And I find that very hard to believe. It's just like, that's some crazy science right there. Dog Mom, Northern Girl Hobbies is saying, awesome. I need to start a few things soon. Matt's 1791 Garage says to Jerry Fox, of course, force the GMO agenda. And Matt said the word that I'm not going to say again, santo. And Northern Girl Hobby says, it's on my community page alone via Survival Lily. Perfect. I will check that out. I love Survival Lily. Haven't seen one of her videos in just a minute or two, but I will definitely go check that out. Kermej in Alaska says, that is a bad word, Matt AK. It's worse than the TB word. Matt AK says, it is indeed. And Matt 1791 Garage says the MN. Exactly. AK Dog Mom says to Northern Girl Hobbies, spring can't come soon enough. I agree. But at the same point, I still want my snow. I'm in a toss up here because I like the snow, but I also am looking forward to getting out in the garden and going fishing. That's for sure. And Matt said the man's listening. He's always listening. I have to tell you guys something funny. So you know how your phones are always listening to you. You'll have a conversation with somebody or you'll say something and then you start seeing articles or videos or whatever pop up on your internet feed for whatever you had just mentioned. Well, the other day when I woke up in the morning, I had thought to myself, I should check the weather. And I picked up my phone and I didn't say it out loud. I just thought it to myself. And I picked up my phone and my phone says, Siri suggests you check out the weather. And I was like, that's freaky because I didn't say it out loud and it has never given me a suggestion before. And I was like, okay, if that doesn't show that we're in some type of, glitch or matrix or whatever, I don't know what does, but I was like, I think I'll put the phone down instead. I was a bit freaked out by it. And N2D Wood says, I have cucumbers, lettuce, beans, and more going. Yay. Well, I hope you have a very successful garden this year for sure. Northern Girl Hobbies says, yay, Dilbert, finally a different winter this year. Or yeah, not yay. Sorry, yeah, a different winter. Ruby is saying hello to N2D Woods. And Jared says, alone, I'm here. Now we can start working on your other two wishes. Oh my goodness, JR. CPP says they are outlawing seeds because they don't want us to feed ourselves. Gardens will be done away with. I got lots of seeds. They're going to have a hard time mandating people cannot grow food. I know that in a lot of states, you're not allowed to grow a fruit garden in your front yard. So a lot of people will intermix it in with decorative plants and what have you, ornamental plants. But that's just infringing on people's rights, in my opinion. That's ridiculous. Mr. Mike Lambert, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you again. Mike says hello again, alone from remote north of Talkeetna. Well, always good to see you in here, Mike. So glad you could be here. Alaska Cut the Cord is saying good evening to N2D Woods. Hunting and Stuff says the only way the carbon footprint thing makes sense to me is using more water and fertilizer per acre. Yeah, they were saying that, your trip into the local hardware store to get the supplies to make your raised beds is part of it. The ground cloth that you might be using, things like that. But a lot of people don't even use supplies from the hardware store to do that. They're using whatever materials they might have on hand that they can reuse. And it's all a farce, in my opinion, all a farce. And Happy Chappy Van Life is saying good night to all. Good night again, Happy Chappy. Hope you sleep well, and I'll see you on the next one for sure. Delbert says, for sure, Northern Girl, and I am glad. Hello is from Cromagin to Mr. Mike Lambert. Good to see you. Northern Girl Hobby says, we need more ice to get onto some larger lakes. Dog Mom, I'm good with winter for another week or so. Yeah, well, here it can stick around for at least another month and a half to 2 months for sure. Matt AK said, I had the phone thing happen at work when talking about robot lawnmowers with my buddy. Nobody searched anything. We just were talking out loud and I started getting ads for them. That's exactly how it is. What's scary is, though, I hadn't said it out loud. I had just thought it. And then there was Siri suggested this. I was like, get out of my head. That was a bit freaky. And N2D Wood says hello to everyone. Well, hello again. Northern Girl Hobby says we are in the Matrix. Silly emojis on this new phone. Yeah, that is a silly emoji for sure. JR says I was talking to a friend about reincarnation and it showed up in my news feed on an Android. Wow, even the Androids are in on it now. Darlene Brown said, going to bed now. Glad you're doing well. Well, thank you, Darlene. And so glad to see you in here. I hope you and your husband are doing well. And I will see you guys on the next one. I assume you're married. I apologize. I shouldn't assume things. Shame on me. I'm just full of assumptions tonight. But thank you for being here nonetheless. CPP said, I've had that happen to me too. I refuse to look at any suggestions. Yeah, I wish there was a way you could turn it off, that I don't want anything involved in what I'm looking at. It's my business. Stay out of it is how I look at it. A Northern Girl Hubby says, took out the whole front yard last year, put in fruit trees. That is awesome. That is definitely awesome. That is one thing that I want to get here too. Once I get the back all fenced off so I can protect them from the moose, is get some fruit trees in that will do well in this climate, because I'm in a zone 2B. 2B or 2A, I can't remember. One of the two. Cremedge Inn says good night to Darlene, and so does Billy Sutton. And Hunting and Stuff says, agreed, huge farce. Yes, it is. Night, Darlene, and Happy from Northern Girl Hobbies. And Craig Porter, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you in here. Craig says, good evening, everyone from Sterling. Glad to see you in here. Thank you for joining us. Northern Girl Hobbies. Sorry, a little tongue twister. This says, hey, Porter. And the Riv, how are you doing tonight? Thank you for being in here again tonight. And thank you for the $5 donation. Greatly appreciate it. It says, what's the craziest conspiracy theory you believe? Whew. Craziest conspiracy theory that I believe. Ooh, there's so many. How do you choose? Let's see. What's the craziest conspiracy theory that I believe? I believe in a lot of stuff. But as far as conspiracy theories, I don't know. I've stayed out of the political realm for such a bit that I don't really know at the moment. But I do believe in the paranormal. I'll put it out there. I'll put that out there. There's not really a conspiracy theory, right? But I do believe, that there are things out there that we're not aware of. And as far as the government goes, I don't trust them. I'll put it that way. That's the government's a conspiracy against us all. That's the craziest I believe in. But to pinpoint one, I would have to put some thought to it. I haven't thought about that in a while. CPP says, I've even seen where channels saying they will send drones over property, then fine you for a garden. Oh my goodness. That is an invasion right there, because I think there are laws that actually prohibit drones, unless it's the government, of course, I guess, right? That's where your fine's coming from. So forget what I was going to say, but we personally can't send drones over someone's private property. So why should the government be allowed to spy on us like that as well? That's a little bit invasive, if you ask me. And Christopher says, Ohio checking in. Nice to see you here, Christopher. Thank you for being here with us tonight in the chat. And Alaska Cut the Cord is saying hello to, or good evening to, Craig Porter. Delbert says, I've taught about things too, and had info on it come up on my phone. So just thinking about things, that's what I'm saying. That's crazy. Northern Girl Hobby says to the Riv, come to my Discord server. There you go for some conspiracy theories. Northern Girl Hobby says, no doubt it'll eventually happen in Colorado. Yep. Matt's 1791 Garage says to the Riv, most of them, because given a few months, they prove true anyways, right? That's usually the case. It's like, for those of us who believe in conspiracy theories, it's like, no, we believe in just pointing out the evidence of what's about to happen or what's already happening, and just asking everyone else to notice it as well. Northern Girl Hobbies says, Hask apps should do well for you alone. Hask apps. Okay, I'm going to write that down. Let me grab my pencil here. HASKAPS. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Northern Girl Hobbies and Colorado Colorado Pack Rat Prepper says, did you hear about a Springs representative introduced a bill to have registry fees for all animals, including pets and wildlife, on your property nationwide? Got taken down amid protests. Yeah, how are you going to pay a fee for wildlife and your pets? Like, you already pay a fee because they make you vaccinate. So you're already paying, you have to get a dog license in Denver. I don't know if Alaska requires those or not, but you have to do the rabies and all the shots annually. So you're already paying fees for these animals. That's ridiculous. The government's overreaching for sure. And Northern Girl Hobby says all of them. Yes, all of them. Colorado Pack Rat Prepper says it got removed amid protest. Thank goodness. Hunting and Stuff says, Pack Rat, I heard it was a tax on pets. So ridiculous. Denver, I know I'm not talking about Colorado so much, but Denver has a luxury tax. You have to pay when you work in the city of Denver, you have to pay a tax on your wages for the luxury of working in the city and county of Denver. And I think that's ridiculous. It is not a luxury to work in that town by any means. CPP says, yep, government drones are allowed. Absolutely crazy. Delbert says, I live right next to a military base. You wouldn't believe the things I see and hear at night. It's very interesting. Oh, I bet. I absolutely can imagine. And the Riv says, I believe in all of them, lol. Yep, that's pretty much how it is too. There might be a few out there that I think are a little bit far-fetched, but for the most part, a lot of them I'm like, yeah, I could see it. I bet. And CPP says, Hunting and Stuff, it was all animals, as all animals must have a caretaker. Look it up. Oh my goodness. That is ridiculous. Northern Girl Hobby says 100% to Matt. And Colorado Pack Rat Prepper says fish, lizards, frogs, deer, elk, everything. Wow, that's insane. Lolanda says, speaking of conspiracy theories and the paranormal, do you believe in Yeti? You mentioned some lights in the woods at some point. Have you seen them again? So yes, I still see the lights. It's not every night that I can see the lights, but the one light that I saw that was the biggest was a big blue light out in front of the cabin in the trees. But I would say maybe a couple times a week when I look outside, I see flashing lights that kind of look like lightning bugs in the trees. They're very far away, the trees are, though, because I'm on 5 acres of land and I have a big clearing behind my cabin, and that's usually where I'm looking outside. And they look like Christmas lights at the same point because they're blue and green and red and white and yellow, and they just flash. They just pop, 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 pop. And I know it's not my eyes because I can look up into the sky and I don't see that same flashing, popping of light. I can look down at the ground. I'm not seeing it. It's only in the trees. And friends and relatives that have been out here at night have said the same thing. They're like, do you see that? So I know it's not just me. But do I believe in Yeti? I do. I believe that there is something out there. I've seen enough things to make me think that, yeah, there's probably some skunk ape or abominable snowman or a Bigfoot, something out there. But I would like to actually see proof on my property. I know people are thinking I'm crazy, but there are times I sit there and look out that back door and think, come on, just come out of the woods. Just come out of the woods. Let me see you. Just don't hurt me, but come out of the woods. So yeah, I believe there's something out there for sure. And more than just the Yeti. I believe in little people. I believe that there are probably fairies and elves and gnomes and all sorts of things out there that are better at hiding than we are for sure. Hunting and Stuff says they'll figure out a way to tax everything, including the air you breathe, if you let them, I swear. Matt AK says income tax was originally only supposed to be temporary. Yeah. I'm surprised that they got anyone to believe that one, because once they figure out how to get you for every cent you're worth, they're never going to let go of that money for sure. Northern Girl Hobby says we don't get our pets the shots, and they are fed pumpkins to deworm. That's a good idea. And you could also use oregano. Also put a little oregano in their water, and it'll do the same thing. But yeah, Kenai did not get shots until we got up here to Alaska. I had to get him his shots to come up here. But even the vet that I had down in Colorado said, don't vaccinate your dog. So love that vet because they were on my side of things. And Matt AK is getting a yep from Follow Alaska. Northern Girl Hobby says yep for war funding, Matt. Yep, that's exactly what the tax was for. Matt's Garage says, we have a tax here called the Occupational Privilege Tax. Go figure. That's crazy. Alaska Cut the Cord says, sounds like drone lights to me. I don't know though, because they're all over in the trees. It's like, it's not just like in one little spot. It's like you can see them flashing all across the span of trees in the clearing behind the cabin or in front or on side or wherever. So I don't know if drone lights would be it. And the one big blue light that I saw was absolutely positively still, and there was no sound whatsoever. But possible, I guess. It would make me concerned about who would be out here on my property in the middle of nowhere with a drone. That's for sure. Lolanda, my uncle claims he saw a white Sasquatch in his younger days. I believe it, says Northern Girl Hobbies. Yep, I know of some people that have said that they've run into things paranormal and cryptozoologic. I don't know what the right word is. And I believe them. I believe that they saw what they saw, and I have no reason to doubt them. So stuff's out there, that's for sure. Follow Alaska says to Matt's Garage, that's insane on that tax that you mentioned. Colorado Pack Rat Prepper says politicians are all ridiculous. I agree. Delbert says, I was outside with my rabbits one night and felt like I was being watched. I turned around and a very bright light was hovering just above the trees behind me. It jumped up higher after I waved to it. Now, that was probably a drone for sure, especially if you're near a military base. Matt AK says, I'd also love to have the 12% that gets taxed for my income for Social Security so I could invest it like my IRAs. Yeah, IRAs, if you can do an IRA, a 401k, even better, at least in my opinion, because you get the matching from your employer and pensions and things like that. That is definitely something that I am encouraging my children to do, because that was one of the things that really helped me out over the years, was being able to take a loan out from myself as opposed to other people. Like, you don't want to take a loan out from the bank if you can avoid it. But yeah, the money that they tax us on Social Security that we may never see is sad. Alaska Cut the Cord says, of the little people? Oh yeah, trust me, I know of the little people. I swear the little people have taken things from my cabin. So you guys have seen that I'm pretty well organized, but I have lost things in this cabin that make absolutely no sense how I could lose them. One of them is, those little, they sit on top of the coffee cup and you pour your water through it to filter coffee through. Since I don't have a coffee maker here, I had a stainless steel one of those. It disappeared, and I'm like, that makes no sense. Handle hot pot or hot pad for one of my cast iron skillets completely disappeared, and I used it all the time. That doesn't make sense. There have been other things that I've lost here that I'm like, how, where are they going? You're the only person here, and yet things disappear. So yeah, I am familiar with the little people. And so one other crazy thing that I've seen here on my property, and I've kind of alluded to this in the past, is that in the wet seasons of the year, so in the spring and in the fall, I have seen singular feet print on my property in areas where there should be multiple feet prints from whatever walked through there, because the ground is wet, whether it's covered in snow or whether it's covered in mud, whatever got to the place that there's a singular footprint, there should have been the alternate foot coming and going from it. And there's always just one footprint. Some of them are large, like a man's footprint. And some of them are small, like a lady's footprint. And it's not a bear. I know that for sure, because it didn't have any claw marks. It wasn't, the front foot with the back foot. It wasn't a moose or anything like that. So it looks very human, but they're not big like a Bigfoot footprint either. It wouldn't surprise me if there was some other creature out here that just happened to touch down, if you will. I don't know what that is or what it would be, but yeah, there's things out here for sure. And I've heard stories from other people, from locals and what have you, of things that they've seen in the area. And things that they've heard from elders in the area and what have you. So Alaska is a strange place for sure. CPP says to Delbert, that's scary about the light that was hovering over his trees. Matt's Garage says to follow Alaska, not insane. It's Pennsylvania. And Northern Girl Hobby says, we're all crazy. Probably so. JR says, one holiday I was flying from Southern California to Salt Lake City. Air traffic controller cleared me direct to Salt Lake City. I looked at the GPS, had him confirm as that took me right over the top of the Area 51 runway. Woo! That would be a scary flight to make for sure. And German Shepherd Lady, how are you doing? Good to see you in here. I haven't seen you here before, so thank you and welcome to the chat. German Shepherd Lady says, I think we would have found remains over the years if there were any Yeti. I have thought that too, but who knows? Maybe they're so far and few between, and maybe they have a way of disposing of those bones, or they bury them so far deep that we haven't uncovered them yet and we've mistaken them for something else. I don't know, but you would think that there would be something, but we haven't found it yet that we know of. Alaska, or Follow Alaska, is saying to Matt's Garage, I see why so many people have moved up here from there. Yep, exactly. And Kill It and Grill It says hello from Nebraska. Well, hello and welcome to the channel and welcome to the chat. Thank you for being here tonight. Alolanda says, how are you not afraid to live by yourself in the woods if you believe all that? I would never, lol. I'm too scared. I don't scare easy. It is almost impossible to scare me. I have one fear, which I won't share with anybody, what that one fear is. And it's the most unrealistic fear ever. Yeah, it's so insane. It's so retarded, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't fear things. I look at everything with, that saying, is the glass half full or half empty? To me, the glass has something in it, and it's just up to me to figure out what that is and what to do with it. So that's how I look at the world. But I don't really fear a whole lot. So, and maybe that's idiotic too. Who knows? But that's how I view things anyhow. Northern Girl Hobby says, great to know about the oregano. You're welcome. And Northern Girl says hello to K&G, or hey, K&G. Alaska Cut the Cord has put up Follow Alaska's channel link. So thank you for doing that, Adam and Phyllis. CPP says, I don't vaccinate my animals. She doesn't vaccinate herself. She doesn't vaccinate her animals. They are kept away from other animals. Yep, that's how Kenai is too. He's not in contact with any other animals. One thing though that they made me get when I vaccinated him before coming up here was a vaccine that they said, and I don't remember what it's called, but they said that if your animal comes in contact with urine from wildlife, they can get some type of disease from it. And so that was some new vaccine they made him get, but I'd never heard of it before. And Killing It Grill It says to Northern Girl Hobbies, hey, thanks for the link. You are welcome. And PTL Fabrication says, conspiracy. The CDC called Sunday 3 times and 2 messages wanting a survey on vaccine. That's a hard no on that survey. Yeah, I blocked their number because they kept calling me too. I was like, nope, I'm not talking to you. Sorry. And I told them, I said, I live out in the middle of nowhere. Go the heck away. Follow Alaska says to Alaska Cut the Cord, thanks a bunch for the link. Delbert says, then it very slowly came my way. I never heard a sound from it until it was past me, and it was a very faint sound. I have no idea what it was, even though it was very close to the ground, 500 feet maybe. I'm still thinking it was a drone, especially if it had a sound to it. But I'm just glad that you didn't actually have any other issues with it from what you're saying. Hunting and Stuff says, I'm going to take off. Take care, everyone. Good night, Hunting and Stuff. Thank you very much for being here tonight. And everyone make sure to go over and check out his channel. And the Riv says, good night. Good night, Riv. If you're leaving or if you're just saying good night to Hunting and Stuff. Matt says, cheers to Hunting and Stuff. Jer says, did you see the blue lights after too many bottles of a certain dark beer? You mean this one right here? No. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't drinking at that point. And I don't drink that much anyhow. 1 beer is about all I do. Northern Girl Hobby says, rest well, hunting. Oh my goodness, that's a tongue twister. Alaska cut the cord is saying goodnight to Riv, and Riv says she's still here. Was saying goodnight to hunting and stuff. That's what I figured. Crewmedge Inn has put up PTL Fabrications channel link, so be sure to check them out and tell them that Alone and Crewmedge Inn sent you. Follow Alaska says, have a good one, Riv, even though you're still here. Good night, hunting and stuff from Alaska Cut the Cord. And Northern Girl Hobby says, right to PTL Fabrications. And JR says politicians are like diapers and should be changed for the same reasons. Exactly. Matt's Garage says follow Alaska. It's super sad that the birthplace of the Liberty, Pennsylvania, is now one of the largest cesspools of government bureaucracy and overreach in the country. That is sad. Northern Girl Hobby says, JR, we only had those lights here last year for 2 months. Interesting. We only had those lights here last year for 2 months. That is very interesting. CPP says, thing is Social Security is taxed twice, and that's wrong. I agree. That is wrong. All your money's taxed twice if you think about it, because they already take out income tax, and then you pay sales tax and property tax and tax on this and tax on that. So all of your money is just taxed to no end. It's actually crazy. Alaska Cut the Cord says to the Riv, I formally retract my good night then. Northern Girl Hobby says, same stuff happens here Alone. I usually blame Alex. I did a good smudge yesterday. There you go. Yep. I was just talking about that with a friend of mine and saying, she was suggesting that I do the same thing here with some sage. I have not done it though, because I'm not really sensing anything here. Even though I do believe in the little people, I don't know that the sage would drive them away. Follow Alaska says to Matt's Garage, I completely agree. Very, very sad. Delbert says, it is prepper. There you go. Colorado Pack Prepper. Delbert, too bad you didn't have a good sprayer hose to knock it out of the sky. There you go. That would have done the trick. Northern Hobby says to Matt, the whole world is insanity. That's definitely looking that way. Matt's Garage says, is Kenai sensitive to such odd sounds and sights around your place? To some extent, yes, but a lot of it, he just tunes it out because, there's, even though it's very, very quiet here, sometimes it's so quiet here, you can hear your heartbeat. You can hear, your eyelashes blinking and stuff like that. You can hear the hair just kind of move as you move your head. There are times where it's very noisy outside, especially in the spring and the summer, because there's birds chirping all the time and birds digging in the leaves and animals walking through the woods. So a lot of it he does tune out. What he does pick up on, though, is the wolves and the coyotes that he hears, and the the moose generally. If he sees them, he's right after them. But sometimes he can hear them out in the yard and he'll be barking, and I'll have to look outside to see what he's barking at. But the other odd things that happen around here, he hasn't paid any attention to it that I can tell anyhow. And Barbara, how are you doing tonight? Barbara says, have you seen a Bigfoot? I'm a firm believer. I have not seen one yet, but maybe someday, hopefully, as long as it doesn't hurt me. And Albert's laughing at CPP. Alaska Cut This Cord says to German Shepherd Lady, love the name. We have 2 of them. Follow Alaska is agreeing with Northern Girl Hobbies. Colorado Pack Rat Prepper says to PTL Fabrication, CDC has called me and texts a lot. I don't freaking answer. I don't know anybody who would. Billy Sutton says, good night Alone, everybody. Got to get up at 6 hours. Great live and great chat. See y'all next time. Good night, Billy. Have a good one and sleep well. I'll see you on the next one. German Shepherd Lady says, I've been here. I'm just quiet. Love your channel. Well, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. And P&J is saying good night to Billy. Curmudgeon is also saying good night. And Barbara Ducotman says, how much does it really cost for a total move up to Alaska? Well, I did a video 2 videos ago that talks about the move up. And then the video that I did last week the video last week talked about the move up here. And then the video prior to that talked about setting up your homestead here. So I would recommend you go back and watch those videos, because there's number of ways that you can do it, and there's a number of variables that can impact how much money you spend. But I would say that it's not cheap by any means. But it also depends upon what part of Alaska you're planning on moving to, where you're moving from, how much stuff you're moving with you, how off the grid do you want to be, what conveniences do you want to be close to or have availability to. So there's a whole bunch of things to take into consideration, but hopefully those two videos will give you some numbers that you can work with and figure that out for your own situation. But that's a great question. And Brook Trout 1, how are you doing tonight, my friend? Brook Trout says, hello, alone. Been listening. Very interesting. Well, thank you for being here tonight, Brook Trout. Greatly appreciate seeing you here. And NTD Wood says, can you hunt in your yard, moose, deer, etc.? So there are no deer in the area where I live other than moose is part of the deer family. But in the area where I live, you can hunt moose, bear, wolves, things like that on your own land. Moose are only a certain set of days out of the year. It's like a subset of the actual hunting season where you can hunt on your property. Otherwise, you're having to go to, other areas where hunting is allowed. But yes, you can. And you can snare animals and do small game as well. In fact, trapping in this area, I don't remember what the trapping laws are for wolves, but for hunting them, 10 a day. You can shoot 10 wolves a day in this area of Alaska. And Northern Girl Hobby says to follow Alaska. It's been a crazy number of years. Hard to believe what has happened. Yes, exactly. And Curmudgeon is saying, hey there to Brook Trout. Good to see you. And let's see here. Billy Sutton says, good night to Paula and Jason. Good night, Rob and Sarah. Northern Girl Hobby says, hey there, Brook Trout. Alaska Cut the Cord says to Barbara Ducotman, we spent about $20,000. That's good to know. Thank you for sharing that information, Adam and Phyllis. And Matt's Garage says, biological organisms decay quickly in dense forest and are picked up, cleaned by all other wildlife, remains days or weeks, no Bigfoot bodies. That could be part of it for sure. And Alina the fam, how are you doing tonight, Alina? Thank you for being here. It's so good to see you and see you in the chat. German Shepherd lady says, we have two, very spoiled. There you go. And Alaska Cut the Cord is saying, good to see you and howdy to Brook Trout. Follow Alaska's sister Northern Girl Hobbies. 2020 has exposed a lot of things that have been going on for years. That's for sure. That's right. It brought a lot of light to things that were going on. And Ed over at Mountain Mariner Off Grid says, fear of long words. Oh, I'm not even going to try to read it. I think you did this one to me before. I'm not even going to attempt it. Northern Girl Hobby says 100% at follow Alaska. And Curmudgeon is laughing at Ed. Northern Girl Hobby says, no doubt, Mariner. And Barbara saying thank you to Alaska Cut the Cord. And follow Alaska is laughing at Ed's joke. Matt 1791 Garage says to Northern Hobbies, the past 4 years have been surreal and a nightmare. That is absolutely true. Todd Weasley, how are you doing tonight, Todd? Todd says, keep your heads on a swivel in the lower 48, my fellow Americans. That is absolutely true. And in here, because you never know when things are going to happen. But what's going on in the lower 48 is part of the reason why I'm where I'm at now. So thank you for making here by the way, too, Todd. I greatly appreciate that. Brook Trout says, hello, Cut the Cord. Rewatched your live when I got home very late. Good as always. I was able to hear half of Rob and Sarah's. There you go, Brook Trout. So glad you were able to do that. Northern Girl Hobby says, agreed, Matt. If you were connected with Ash, he has the Discord link. There you go. Just need to hit up Ashley. My bet. How are you doing tonight? It says, hello, everyone. Thank you for being here, my bet. Good to see you. And Colorado Prepper says, you pay income tax twice on Social Security. Ridiculous. Rushing Wind Watton says, good for you. Don't share alone. Yep, there's a lot of things that I prefer to keep private. And what I spent is one of those things. But you'll get a good indication of what things cost by watching those last two videos. Delbert says, I about dove to the ground. The pilot and I waved at each other. Mind you, It was a B-52 bomber, lol. Uh-huh. 1 second, folks. I gotta moisten the old throat from talking so much. I got some salutations going on here to my bet. And my bet says, what is she talking about? Crazy stuff, conspiracy theories and paranormal things that I believe in and don't believe in, and gardens and pricing up here, all sorts of things we've been talking about over the last few minutes. I'm reading through the comments. So if you're new to the chat, I read through the comments out loud and then discuss questions that come up and things like that. So that'll give you a little bit of a clue of what I'm talking about. And Northern Girl Hobby says, I'm talking about the truth. There you go. Riv is laughing at that. And Ruby is saying good night to hunting and stuff. ES Ferguson, how you doing tonight? Good to see you again. ES says, joining late. Just wanted to say hello. Well, thank you for that. So glad you could join us. Matt says, I think it was $1,500 just in gas for me to tow my 16-foot cargo trailer up with my truck from Utah. There you go. And the Riv is saying howdy. And Alina the Fam says, paranormal is very real. I've experienced it since I was little. Same here. Lots of things I've seen in my life that would shock people if they knew some of the things I've experienced. Matt's Garage says, moving to AK is also about weighing what to take and what to leave. Cheaper to have shipped rather than to buy again in Alaska after the move. I agree with that. And there's a lot of things that you just can't find up here, especially if you have, furniture, a certain taste in furniture, as I do, or you have sentimental things. Definitely bring those with you because you can't replace those things. And you'll find that it's harder to get certain things up here than it is down in the lower 48 for sure. And D Martinez Rodriguez, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you. D says, I'm late to the party here, but I always heard in reference to Bigfoot bones, how many bear bones does anyone come across in the woods? Nobody seems to find them, and you think that would happen often. That is true. That is a very good analogy there, because, yeah, you find elk bones, you find deer bones, you find things like that. But, yeah, I've never heard of very many people coming across bear skeleton either. And JR says, did you hear about the guy who froze to death at the drive-in? He went to see closed for the winter. Oh my goodness, that was a long showing. Delbert says, ooh, thanks for the info on the pods containers. I've been wondering if they would take them to Alaska. We have pods business in Watertown. That's 40 minutes from here. Yep, they will come to Alaska and they will hold them in their lot until you can come get them. But after the first 30 days, there is a fee for them to hold them for you. And Barbara says, on your property, do you have to obtain a permit to take down trees or build or just homestead, period? It depends upon where you're at in Alaska. Where I live in Alaska, there's no governance other than the state and the federal. And so no building codes are needed. So I don't need a permit to cut timber. I don't need a permit to build. I don't need a permit to dig a well or anything like that where I live. But if you're living closer to the populated areas, Wasilla, Willow, Anchorage, especially Anchorage, Fairbanks, places like that, then absolutely, because they have mayors and government there that tax the population and apply regulations in place. And Colorado Packrat Prepper says, JR, I haven't heard that one in years. And Northern Girl Hobbies is saying, that's a bad joke, JR. Bill Dixon, you're still here, my friend. Bill says, alone fishing, yes. I just can't wait to watch you getting a moose or a caribou and then cooking up. Amazing. Yeah, same here. Same here, especially some caribou. I do love moose, but I want some caribou. I love caribou sausage. And so I would love to be able to have some different cuts of caribou or different ways of preparing caribou. And Alaska Cut the Cord is saying to D Martinez, I haven't found any either. Porcupines are notorious for eating them. Well, that's good to know. Maybe porcupines are guilty for the Bigfoot bones too. Alaska Cut the Cord is saying good evening to Bill Dixon at the Pungo Prairie. And be sure to pay Bill Dixon a visit if you're not familiar with his channel. He has a fabulous channel. Everything from woodworking, gardening, hunting, fishing, you name it, this man can do it. Very talented individual for sure, and has a fabulous channel. And JR says to CPP, it is good to recycle, even jokes. Ruby says, still here, but eyes are getting sleepy. Oh, I completely understand that one. Food Forest Permaculture, how are you doing tonight? And Food Forest says, greetings, Earthlings. Well, greetings to you too. Thank you for being here. Much appreciated. Bill Dixon, Follow Alaska, is saying, we all need more hunting and fishing in our lives. Ain't that the truth? Matt's Garage says to JR, oh man, that was a rough one. Crumedge Inn is saying hello to Food Forest Permaculture. And JR says, hope the Alaska Marine Highway starts back up to Whittier as Canada limits the amount, 5,000 rounds of ammo you can have driving through Canada. Yeah, it would be nice if they would get the cross Gulf travel back in place. Excuse me. The whole firearm thing is why I came on the ferry. I wasn't even about ready to deal with Canadian border crossings when it came to that. Ruby says, hey there to Food Forest Permaculture. And Northern Girl Hobby says, hey, Howie. And Cremedge Inn has put up Food Forest Permaculture's channel links, so be sure to check them out and pay them a visit if you would. And they're saying hi to Rob and Sarah over at Cremedge Inn. And Todd is saying, is there any military age Chinese coming into Alaska? That is a good question. I don't know the answer to that myself because I don't get off the property very often, but I did hear some murmuring about that a while back. So maybe I don't know. I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. Matt's Garage says hello there to Food Forest. And Alaska Cut the Cord says to Todd Weasley, not that I have seen. Food Forest is saying hi to Ruby over at Rushing Wind Mountain. And Matt says to JR, I saw somewhere that they are not doing cross Gulf again this year. That is correct. They don't have the staffing to man the ship to come across the Gulf. They actually cut it early last year and they haven't resumed it this year. So hopefully they get that resolved. Lolinda says, you have to do a video telling us all about the paranormal experiences, maybe for members or something. Yeah, maybe I could do that for members. I think there are some people on my channel that might unsubscribe and think that I was completely out of my mind if I told them all the things that I've experienced in my life. Oh my goodness. But that's a great suggestion. Thank you, Lolanda. And Food Forest says, thank you kindly to Curmudgeon. Bill Dixon says hello to Phyllis and Adam. And Food Forest is saying good evening, Matt. JR says to Matt, let's hope that changes this year. JR also is saying to Bill Dixon, long time no see. Brooke Trout says, good night, all. Have to get up early for a meeting. Have a good week. You too, Brooke Trout. Hope you're doing well, and thank you for popping in. Appreciate it. And Matt is saying, see you, Brooke Trout. Rushing Wind is also saying good night. And Food Forest is saying hi there. Good to see you to Northern Girl Hobbies. Follow Alaska is saying good night. And Colorado Pack Rat Prepper is saying, JR, you're right. Curmudgeon is saying good night to Brooke Trout. It was nice to see you. Northern Girl Hobby says, Food Forest, good evening. How is the West treating you? CPP says, JR, I still got a good laugh from it. Recycled or not. Alaska Cut the Cord says, sorry, I have to compete with JR. I want to start a marsupial fighting championship. Gonna call it Mortal Wombat. That's actually funny. And I can picture it. Lolanda says, you have to do, okay, so we've already covered that one. Thank you for that again. And JR says, back to the wombat topic. Wombats are cute. Alaska Cut the Cord is getting a good laugh from CPP. Northern Girl Hoppies says, porcupines will destroy a pine tree. That they will. Another good laugh from Follow Alaska. And Ruby is saying hello to Lolanda. And Alina says, I would love to hear your experiences. Well, I'll think about it. And like I said, I might put it up on Patreon and for members. We'll see. Northern Girl Hobby says, who was the last channel mentioned to watch? Who was the last channel mentioned to watch? It was Food Forest Permaculture. Or Bill Dixon at the Pungo Prairie. Bill Dixon at the Pungo Prairie is probably who I mentioned. And he has a fabulous channel. And I have a Meet the YouTuber on my channel for Bill Dixon. And I also have one for Alaska Cut the Cord. And hopefully I'll be doing one for Curmudgeon here pretty soon too. Wink, wink. Food Forest says to Northern Girl Hobbies, I'm planting cool weather crops. The cherries and plums are in bloom. Picking lemons in my indoor citrus. My best to you. Oh, that sounds fabulous. Absolutely wonderful. Lolinda is saying hi to Ruby over at Rushing Wind Mountain. Matt's Garage says, well, sirs and madams, time for bed. Good night. And thank you alone. Well, thank you also, Matt, for being here. And thank you, everybody else. It is now 7:30. So I'm going to cut this short here in just a moment. Well, I wouldn't say short, but I'm going to curtail this here in just a moment. Barbara says, I live in Anaheim, California. Can you order Corano and have it shipped? I don't know what that is. Yeah. Sorry. I live under a rock, I think, sometimes. But possibly. Good night, Matt says to Matt's Garage. And Alaska Cut the Cord is saying good night. Rob is laughing at the wombat comment. And JR says, the boss just said no to me. This is the fourth time this week we've had complaints about your attitude. Do you know what means? So I said, yeah, it must be Thursday. That's funny. Barbara says, we will never unsubscribe. Well, thank you, Barbara. I greatly appreciate that. Old School Alaska says, sorry, fell asleep. Been a long day. You're entitled, Ashley. Absolutely entitled. Matt is giving a wink, wink, and a nudge, nudge to Rob. Alaska Cut the Cord says, good to see you in here, Old School Alaska. And I'm going to, again, just briefly go through these real quick here. And Trinity Redor Blue Pill says, I'll be the replay crew. There you go. Thank you for that, Trinity. And thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And Northern Girl Hobbies says, Crumbs, can you grab me Bill's link, please? Food Forest says, much love and mad respect at this live stream was awesome. Thank you for that. JR says to Barbara, my old stomping grounds. And let's see here. Ashley is saying welcome back from P&J. And P&J says, we will say good night now, but we are here till the end. Good night alone. Good night all, and great life. Well, thank you for everybody for being here. And I do want to say thank you to all my moderators, JR, Rob and Sarah over at Curmudgeon, Adam and Phyllis, and Ashley, all of you guys. Thank you very much for everything that you do for the channel. And thank you everybody for being here tonight. And I also want to say thank you again to Scott from Rambling with the Brooms for your membership, Miss Mother Trucker for your donation, as well as Rib for your donation. I appreciate all of you guys. And again, I want to thank everybody and I wish everybody a good night, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks again.